It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm Ron Bennington. That song played in honor of my entire team yesterday, giving me one of my favorite days of my life, one of my favorite memories. Unmasked with Pamela Adlon right there in Washington Square at the Underground. Just... everybody was on. Like, do you ever have something you wanted to be so great and it was?
Yeah, that turned out to be, honestly, one of my favorite Unmasked of all time. It was like the place was right and the crowd was, the audience was so connected to her and loving everything she said, and it was funny and it was sweet, and she's maybe the coolest.
I don't know where you throw the maybe is. She's the fucking coolest, man. But that whole thing of just, I've been a fan of her so long, and she just keeps getting better and better in ways I didn't think. I didn't think anybody would be able to, I thought it was like, hey, that's my favorite, kind of character actor, for years. I was just like, watch this chick. She's a scene stealer, And then, when she just got involved in Louis, and then the projects got more and more interesting and better things. We're going to talk about that later in the show, because it was a great one last night, but they're all great ones, you know what I mean? Like, every time I'm watching a show, it's like my favorite episode. But so I've been a big fan of hers for a long time, and I knew we'd met and she's great, so I knew this was going to be cool. But I'm still enough of a suburban kid and a New York City romantic that know that, me and you going out to eat before the show, and literally like walking through Washington Square, where you're like, oh man, this is the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just being here would have been cool enough. But then you're walking down the street and there's a line to get into the Village Underground, the old folk city where Dylan played, and fucking, the history of that room that were in, the people that played that room, and it's just amazing, and the room is fantastic. It's just the coolest room. And then Chris had just set this thing up, so it was just humming, and everybody in the team was like improvising and moving around. It was just a great day. You know?
It was a real success, and the Unmasked itself was just like, couldn't have been better. It could not have been better.
But that's also because people set it up so that can exist. Like, you try, what's that guy on NBC that had the fucking meltdown?
Lawrence O'Donnell.
Because that's most times how your life goes.
Right.
You're like, fuck, there's somebody in my ear, But when everything's set up, and then I'm watching Better Things last night, where she has that kind of weird fantasy thing of just a perfect day. I'm like, wow, I kind of lived in a fantasy today with her,
Yeah, that was such a great episode. The end of that episode was really, really great.
And John Ailes was in that last night, and he was basically Bobby Kelly's acting partner in Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, and he was so great in that show. And I remember when he came here and we did that show, the whole cast is like, he was just like, man, this is fucking great, Here's my home number if you ever need to you know what I mean? Like, he was like, yeah, show business, fuck, got a cool show, He loved it more than anybody. So to see him go out there and just fucking tear it up last night, he was great.
Yeah. He was perfectly cast.
Boo!
Boo on you.
Boo!
That's what I want to say. Boo on you.
That show was so fucking good, man. So she was just, great. We're going to play that next Friday, Chris, and then all weekend.
Yep.
But it's really weird. I forget to tell you guys this. So I'm doing research before, she comes in, and they had won the Writers Guild Award, right? And they didn't know it was coming or whatever. And she comes walking up on stage and has her daughter with her. Her daughter is just like walking along, like little Rocky. And it was just I'm like, who does that?
Yeah.
Who thinks like, oh, I better not leave my daughter behind. Let's go, honey. We just won an award. It's just so great. And just like living in your own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people act like, oh, you have to do this, and you have to do this, fucking society and rules. But some people are just like, hey, man, this is cool.
Yeah.
Some people are able to say to the Pope, hey, you got a funny hat. And for him to go, yeah, man.
It is kind of funny.
It is I got to wear it, too. They make me wear it. So, yeah, we'll jump into all that. But I'm going to also announce that we're putting together the Thanksgiving plans, and we're ready to go. And are we going to do it now? I have to find out if we're going to do it now. All right, let's lock it in. So the date on this, it's the Bennington family Thanksgiving. Give me the date and where it's happening, Gail.
It's happening Tuesday, November 14th at 8 p.m. at the main stage at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square. It's the Bennington family Thanksgiving.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You got to go to the BenningtonShow.com and fill out the form for a chance at free tickets. The BenningtonShow.com. Fill out the form for a chance at free tickets. We're going to announce some of the stuff that we're doing as we're going along, but this is going to be a memorable night. This is going to be, I hope, it to be the Pamela Adlon of Thanksgiving shows. You know what I mean?
I'm so excited. And it's BenningtonShow.com. BenningtonShow.com.
But you can get there from our Twitter, and the iBang will have some. I don't know how it all works. But so here you go. We have put it together a newlywed game. The newlywed game. Because last year we did what? Did we do match game?
Match game.
Yeah.
Match game. The year before that, I think it was the first time we debuted Comedy 101. So this time, it's the newlywed game, but with radio shows. It's going to be radio partners playing the newlywed game. From the podcasts, My Wife Hates Me, Voss and Bonnie are going to be there. Voss and Bonnie are sure to lose this game. I have zero doubts that Bonnie would rather go for the throat than go for the match. And I have zero doubts that Voss is going to say something ridiculous. So let's count them out as having a chance. The next show has been together the longest, and I think it's only 2 or maybe 3 years. Who's that over there? Who's that star?
I am not sure who that is.
She looks like Jessica from Big Brother.
That's what I thought it was just now, but I think that might be Karuchi.
That's Karuchi.
She's gorgeous.
She's so cute. She looks just like my sister. Everybody always says that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you get a picture?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
She's in the show Claws on TNT.
She's gorgeous.
Niecy Nash.
All right, I forgot. I'm doing an announcement. I forgot about it. Didn't it look like Jessica, though?
Yeah, it does.
I wish we had Karuchi on our show today. Look, Sway's like fucking really, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see him that animated. He's really happy. All right, so that's the number one show. The number, Voss and Bonnie in the radio newlywed game. The Bonfire. Big J. Okerson, the newly single Dan Soder girls are going to be there. Also, I don't think I told you guys this because Christine came to that show yesterday. Wednesday night on the Conan O'Brien show, doing panel. Big J. Okerson.
Holy shit, that
doing
is
panel.
so cool.
Not coming out and doing a set like some fucking brush salesman going door to door.
Selling his wares.
Yeah.
These are my jokes.
All right, so the Bonfire. Let me tell you something here. These guys are closer than most, okay? And they kind of competitive. You know what I mean? Like Soder likes to win a lot. You know, like Soder's like, hey, did we win that thing? Did everybody say I was a good boy? He loves to win. So I'm picking the Bonfire as the early favorite. Number 3, and I'm very, very excited to say this. It's the Jim and Sam show. Will be appearing at Thanksgiving in the Newlywed Game. Now, normally I would say they didn't have a chance because of Sam. But he's a big winner. He's a big winner from Street Jokes. This kid's a hot hand. I got them in as the upset special.
Really?
They could pull this one off. They could pull this one off.
They could be more in tune than you realize.
I know, but my thing is they're the second newest show. You know what I mean? And they worked together for many years. But obviously, Jim ignored Sam for the first 8-9 years.
So it's nothing.
Yeah. It's almost like Jim married his girlfriend's little sister one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but Sam's a winner. We saw that at Street Jokes. Sam is a winner. And Jimmy is, he's Jim Norton. Are you kidding me? So that should be exciting. And the last team. And hopefully, it's that both of them, or one or both of them, are live by the time this happens. I'm always concerned. It's the AA show.
Wow.
Artie Lang, Anthony Cumia appearing with us on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Should be the show of a lifetime. And that's only that's the only part of the night. We're going to announce more. So it's the Radio Newlywed Game. Should be bizarre. Anthony and Artie, Jim and Sam, the bonfire themselves, Crackle Crackle, and Boss and Bonnie.
It's gonna be great.
Star-studded.
And 3 of those shows, the entire show sleeps together. And I'm not gonna give it away. We've got Hard Rock Johnny on the line right now. Hard Rock Johnny.
This is going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one, buddy.
I am so excited that we could be a part of this again, and one of my favorite, if not probably the favorite event I do every year.
You have to be careful because you do a lot of charities, too.
I know, but this is pretty fucking amazing.
I don't like the burn children.
I have the problem with the progeria kids bother me sometimes.
They're so cute.
Why is that little kid so old? I'm still going to stand. Tommy Junigan's daughter's going to stand my mind for a while now. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and that's only part of the star power that we're rolling out there. Very, very excited.
Just that alone is bigger than anything I've ever done in all the years of my radio stuff here. Just that lineup.
And you had that ticket scam with Craig Carton. So
yeah, it was crazy. I just actually requested my ticket, by the way, because I said I don't really want to just run around like a moron all night and produce a show like your producers should.
Yeah,
I'd rather just sit and enjoy.
By the way, Craig and Johnny told me and my chick, would you guys like to go to Streisand? And I'm like, yeah. I go, and they go front row. I go, you're fucking kidding me. And I'm leaving in the car. We're off and I go, you got those tickets? They hand me an envelope. I get there. I open it up, and it's 2 Frosted Flakes box tops.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah. He told me they would get you in.
That's what he said, gets you into stuff. He goes, as part of a contest that they're doing at Battle Creek.
Poor Craig. I feel so bad for him.
I feel bad for Battle Creek because you just never hear the word anymore. And I used to a lot. When I was little, I used to fantasize like, what fucking battle did that creek have? Was it great?
Is a creek big enough for a battle?
It is Tuesday, November 14th, 8 o'clock at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square, the Bennington family Thanksgiving, or what I like to say, it's the salute to Hard Rock Johnny.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome. I didn't even know that.
All right, Johnny, talk to you soon, buddy.
Later, Benningtons. Have a good
Johnny.
weekend. Go
Peace.
Giants.
Bye.
I
know.
Yeah.
The Eagles are going to kill him. It's fine.
Well, that seems like a double jinx.
It is. That's what he's doing.
All right, Johnny. See you soon.
Later.
Do not fight with Johnny, Chris, until November 15th.
Understood. Go
Because
Giants.
he will yank the plug.
I want that plug in.
Ew.
Let's, look who it is. It's our buddy Rich, the fireman. Rich, what's happening, pal?
Hey, Ron, how you doing? I want to thank you for last night. What a great show.
Dude, she's just so great, man. She was so funny and cool and open and
everything you would want her
everything
to be.
you want her to be. Little fucking leather jacket that looked great on her. Just love her.
Yeah, she was cool as shit. I told my wife we were going, and she's like, I don't really know her. And by the end of the night, she's like, we got to binge watch this.
Yeah.
I love her. She's fabulous.
Well, like we said, I kind of bring this up that when we said she was like the first time we was like, thanks, because is the word getting out? And then over the summer, it just seemed like more and more people are picking up on it. And the reviews, Variety, New York Times, just going on and on, are just amazing for this show. So
she deserves it.
Yeah, very, very cool. It was a great night, great venue. You guys, you all look great. Chris looks fantastic. I don't know what he's doing, but he looks great.
He really does. I'll tell you what he's doing.
Thanks, Rich.
He's in a new regiment. It's called Love.
Yeah.
Costa Rican Love.
Love does it.
Stay, die to love, Rich.
Yeah. And I thought she was coming yesterday.
That'll do it.
She did.
She did, yeah.
I didn't see her.
She was there. I saw her after the show. I saw her.
Okay. That's great, Chris.
Be well.
Why didn't you bring her over?
Did she tell you how great Rich? She tell you how great your production was yesterday?
She loved the show last night, and her roommates came as well. They were big Better Things fans. They were blown away. How
did
great
they get
it was.
to meet Pamela?
They did not. No,
because you don't like to push, do you?
I don't.
Push a little bit, buddy. You deserve it. You're in the inner circle.
I'm not going to bother you or Pamela.
What, Chris?
That's what you're supposed to do.
Bother.
No. It was a great show.
I would have liked them met her roommates too. I mean, they're a big part of your life now. They're your new Zito group.
Your new best friend.
We brunch together. It's fun.
You brunch?
Do you really?
Yes, we brunch together.
Holy
God.
shit! Chrissy's at brunch.
Chrissy's at brunch.
When I knew you, you were barely lunch.
Now
now
brunch.
look at your brunch.
Look, a limited margarita is $20. You can't beat that.
Oh, you don't have like champagne or something? You go right to margaritas.
Oh, it depends on the place we brunch at. The good brunch place is $20 unlimited frozen margs.
I do like frozen margarita.
Oh, that's a lot of sugar.
Yeah,
then.
I don't like that. I like a good.
I thought we were like a fresh margarita.
You get a fresh too, but
what
I
do you
go
normally
frozen.
brunch on?
I'll maybe get like some huevos rancheros.
Yeah,
possibly.
that's my jam.
That's delicious.
Yeah,
Perfect
breakfast.
with your margarita.
Do you have any right now? Because talking about
look in your pockets. I know you spill a lot.
Yeah, it's true. I have $2.
Yesterday, when Gail and I were having lunch right before the thing, because we basically went right from here, and I wanted a little protein for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that protein. But I actually put the fucking napkins down my shirt like I was Jethro Bodine. Because I eat like an animal, I guess. I don't know.
I understand. I'm doing the same thing now at restaurants. I feel crazy, but I'm not going to fuck my shirt up.
I'm glad that you did it because it's too much of a risk. Like a pre-show.
Well, I was
meal.
wearing a white shirt, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was going to be no coming back from that. We would have no time to fix that situation.
No. I would have just ran home crying.
Forget it then. I don't want Pamela to see me like this.
Oh, an idiot! Just went home and just lightly cut myself. I'm not a cutter, but I am a scratcher.
Just when you have an itch, though.
There was this fucking kid. You know, when people in the community came to me and they're like, hey, I know he likes your show and stuff. We're really worried he's a cutter. You know, he's cutting himself. And there's a kid I've known. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm just going to go over and say something to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm not a big fucking deal. I don't care. And I go over, I go, show me these fucking cuts. And he had been scratching himself with like a piece of plastic.
Oh, please.
I know. Cutting. And I go like this, you got to fucking dig that in. If you want to play the fucking, I'm the hurt girl. You know what I mean?
Need some scarring.
I mean,
on
are
your
you
thigh.
even getting blood there? Or?
No, it was only getting lines, scratch lines.
Then I'm a cutter because I'm scratching bug bites in the back of my leg. All right?
I think
I'm
you're a cutter for what you do to your eardrum. He sticks that knife in his eardrum.
And his scalp. He takes it sometimes and just scratches his head with the knife.
I had to stop him the other day because he was sitting in a meeting and he started doing the thing where he itches his beard with his knife and it makes the worst sound ever.
Gail and Vito, I hear what you're saying, but this is a public forum. And these are things that we should be I worry about him because I've never once saw him use the urinal. So every time that you think to yourself, I have to take a piss, that's how often Chris shits.
Yeah, it's frightening sometimes. This morning I was stuck on the train and I almost had an accident. I'll be honest. I was stuck in a tunnel for 45 minutes.
Again, we're going to make a safe place later, Chris, where you can feel safe to say these things.
I got a text from him about it this morning saying, "Oh my God, I'm stuck between stations. Oh my God, I have to shit. Oh my God, this is my nightmare." He'll also show up some mornings and say, "Heads up, I'm here. I'm just shitting." And I say, "Hey man, you don't have to tell me these things every day. Like, I'll see you when you get in."
Look, if something happens to him, he wants people to know where to find a body.
Exactly.
Remember that time that we were waiting after the show and we were just sitting in here talking, and then Chris walks in and goes, "Ugh, boy. Well, I guess you guys were wondering where I was." And I was like, "No, we weren't. We were not wondering because he had been gone for 20 minutes. But I knew what was going on."
I just want to make sure everyone's aware of what's going on in our lives, in case I need it or whatever.
This is the day to promote the Thanksgiving show, Chris, not your colon problem.
BenningtonShow.com. Fill out the form. Get tickets to Bennington Thanksgiving, November 14th.
Did you see the video of the little girl with the heart on the outside of her body?
I didn't see the video.
Chris has his colon on the outside of his body.
I don't have a bag yet.
The Bonfire, Big J and Dan Soder are going to be joining us. Voss and Bonnie are going to be joining us. Jim and Sam will be joining us. And Artie Lang and Anthony Cumia will be joining us at the big Bennington Family Thanksgiving, Tuesday, November 14th, 8 o'clock, the main stage at the Hard Rock Cafe. All right, so Gail, here's this. Do we have this on the iBank today, or is this just because I know I sent it to you, Vito?
I don't think it's up yet, but it's been sent.
So this little girl, her heart is on the outside of her chest. You can see it there, right? So just go ahead and hit that. You gotta have volume. And she giggles.
Oh.
Does that freak you?
It's really crazy.
I find it like weirdly beautiful.
She's such a cute kid. Dude, the thing that's just confusing me is like I don't think about I don't think about the fact that when we're laughing and doing stuff, our organs are like flopping around in there. But obviously you can see. Oh my goodness, that is so strange.
Yeah, so that can't be her heart popping like that, right? That's the organs.
Okay, so what's got to be happening is maybe just the edge right there at the very top, like where her sternum is like the tip, because you can see it pumping pretty strong right there. Yeah. But then there's just like a cavity there, which is when the air moves through, when she laughs, it pushes everything outward.
I don't know why it seems so beautiful to me. Like, I wish everybody was that way. And that would make it easier for me when I'm fighting people where to punch. Literally just give them my Stan Stasiak heart punch. Wait, was Stan Stasiak the heart punch, or am I thinking Stan the Man Hansen? Which one had the heart punch?
I don't know who it was. Like,
Dr. Death?
Dr. Death.
Wasn't that guy named a wrestler called Dr. Death?
Dr. Death is where you go to get your colon looked at.
Stan the Man.
Hansen?
Yeah.
I thought he had the lariat.
I think it's Stan Stasiak.
Stan Stasiak.
See, I know it. You're the guy, you go around on Big Brothers and you tell everybody that you're the wrestling know-it-all.
See, that's why I'm the one bringing up, all the wrestling stuff.
You, dude. It's still Fez after all this time. You guys know nothing.
I was thinking of Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Yeah, who wants to think about him?
I thought he had the heart punch.
No. Well, I think he did because he...
Yeah, but Stasiak is known for it.
Yeah, he's the one who invented it. One time, Dr. Death, I saw him in one of the shows, and there was like a news guy, and he stuck his fingers in the guy's throat into that thing underneath your tongue and just started grabbing him there. I'm like, why aren't you biting that fuck?
Strong grip.
Take this shit to Battle Creek, everybody. Just calm down. Like Washington Square. Look who it is. It's our lovely friend Maureen. She showed up with her husband last night. And they seem like they're an item now. They're canoodling. Maureen, how are you doing, darling? Oh, maybe she's passed out.
Maureen.
We're sitting here with a big box of her food, too. What do we got, Gail?
See what we've got in here. She always hooked it up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. It's almost like gingerbread cookies with like...
They're the pumpkin
cream.
cookies we had last year.
Oh, these are fucking great.
Those ones are dangerous.
That's more of a Thanksgiving treat, too. We normally get that for Thanksgiving, not for this.
It's like she knew that we were going to be announcing Thanksgiving today.
Why was she on hold? Sean, Florida Keys.
Ron, what's happening?
Hey, buddy.
I'm here in Marathon Street. I just wanted to give everybody an update about Irma and how the Keys are recovering.
Okay.
Everything is going pretty well. They got power back up with everybody. There's still a lot of homeless people that like lost their trailers and their house and they're looking for housing. But, you know, the conchs are holding strong down here and we're trying to rebuild.
I saw some of that, and the best of luck to everybody in the Keys. And I was watching the Puerto Rico stuff last night. 100% of the island is there, and there was this place that I went years ago with my brother. My brother's like, would you please come to Puerto Rico? I got this place on the beach right now I'm renting, and it's great. So we fly down, and it was in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. And like, you just get off the plane and you're basically in a rainforest. And you go in, it's like a sleepy little beach town. And he just had this, beach cottage. Right, like literally on the beach. Like you walk out of the beach and there's the water. And there was a reef immediately as you dive into the water. So you could dive down basically into an aquarium. And we were snorkeling and we're seeing like aquarium type fish 20 yards from my bed. Right? That's how gorgeous it is. Out past that, there's a break, and all these American surfers would go down and have these, bunch of them to a place, and they would be like, because we would, grill at night, and guys would just come around and people, and they were like, dude, I know you're on the radio. Do me a favor. Don't even mention this place. I don't want a bunch of surfers here. This is our like secret place. And this is a joint, right? That one time, like a bale of weed just washed up on the beach. You know what I mean? Like you just feel like you're in another place. And I remember, they said, "Oh, we're going to go out for pastries and these pastries were the best pastries I've ever eaten in my life." I'm like, why aren't the Puerto Ricans in New York making these pastries? They were better than any pastries I ever had. You could go to a baseball game where the towns would play each other and people are like cheering in the stands, and they sell rum and cokes in glasses. I mean, it's just, great baseball, everything, you're in this dream the whole time. And the last day when I was leaving, we were just sitting out front, and there was a rainbow right off the beach. Just a rainbow, the full arc of a rainbow. And there were whales playing in that rainbow. It was like,
it's like a dream.
Truly magical. And my brother wrote to me last night that place is gone. Like that whole... everything on that beach is gone.
It's so horrible.
Yeah.
So heartbreaking.
Yeah, and this place always, like, even when I talk to Puerto Ricans, if you live on the San Juan side, like, I didn't even land in San Juan.
Yeah.
I landed in this airport that looked like kind of a military airport. But Aguadilla is this place that's always all those memories are in my heart all the time, and it's just like one of those fucking days in the winter time when you feel like shit and you're like, man, but that other place exists right now. Like it isn't, you know what I mean? Like I could just go there. We snorkeled so much. I got a sunburn from being underwater. I wasn't even out of the water.
Wow.
Sunburn.
And the water's so clear there.
The water was incredibly clear. And like I said, you were swimming in like literally a magical place. It's just magic.
Yeah.
Like you ever go to an aquarium and you're like walking around, you're like, man, I could dive in there right now. Fucking water looks nice and fucking cold, you know? And that's how it was. I'll never forget that spot. But and you know, I know there's like, I think they say there's 700,000 Puerto Ricans in New York City, and they're all scrambling to, you know, do what they can. So there's a lot of people working on helping out those folks, but you can't forget the British Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia got, you know, all across, and then Texas got hammered. It's been an overwhelming year, you know, an overwhelming year. I was thinking about sending them some kind of pumpkin spice cookies.
Well, we have some, but I feel like we should definitely have a couple. We'll send them like 2 or 3.
All right. Wouldn't be bad. All right, we got Maureen back?
Maureen's back, yes.
Thank you, sweetie.
Hi.
I think you were right. I got so excited hearing who's going to be there for Thanksgiving, I did pass out.
It is going to be a really great show. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh, my God. What a great show last night. I loved Pamela.
Love her.
And my husband had a great time. First thing he's come to, and he loved it.
It was the first thing that he came to, and it seemed strange. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, my God, she's really in a couple.
But I think that's a good first impression. If you got to see her first show, that was a great one to see.
It was nothing like mean or embarrassing.
No, and I could so relate to that when she was talking about the one woman whose name she wanted to give up so we could all attack her. I have that with a teacher that was so mean to my kid once that I'm still not done plotting revenge.
Yeah, go get her. You know what I mean? Go get her. We had a fucking teacher who lived right in my neighborhood and was a teacher at the school. And this was her worst time of year. Because, like, we went out like fucking maniacs during the whole, I don't know, some people call it Hell Week or whatever. We used to call it Mischief Night, but we made it like Mischief Month. And then this is what she would do. We would run up, we'd throw shit, we would minority knock at her door and run away. We would, you know, soap up windows and all that. So she was an older lady. I'll just say what her name is. It was Mrs. Hoyt. And she would hide in the bushes, right? She'd have a big fucking flashlight. And when you went running up to do something, she'd hit with a flashlight and start blowing a whistle. Now, and you'd go take it off as fast as you could. You're only like in 4th grade. But here's the deal. I live in the suburbs. There's no like beat patrolman walking around. Officer Dibbles is not going to be there. I heard the whistle. What is it? I'll be after those pesky kids.
And the whistle.
She was crazy.
But it's kind of genius.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I hope to one day grow into that type of old lady. Just a nut.
We had her.
God, that's funny.
There was another guy, because we would be, we to get to this like bodega thing, we used to cut through his yard, and he was fucking crazy. And he would like, stay away from my bushes. So we literally used to call him Mr. Bush, right? So when I would walk by, I would just fucking tear at his bush. Like, I wouldn't go there to tear his bush, but on my way by, I would just reach out, tear something. He'd be out of his fucking house like a maniac.
See, no, but that's what happens when you show people your weakness.
Yeah, that's it.
You wouldn't think to be tearing at his bushes if you didn't know you love those bushes so much.
And then he had an accent, like a little bit of some kind of Eastern European accent, and I'd be like, go back to Hitler, Mr. Bush. Like, I would act like he was from World War II. Fucking dick. But I'm like, that's why, like, now, if somebody cuts through my lawn, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be Mr. Bush. You know what I mean? Let him have a clear path from my fucking yard. What do I care? I don't care if they fucking kill the grass walking through. It's grass. It's not a person.
It grows back, Mr. Bush.
Who cares if it grows back or not? We live in a fucking neighborhood here, don't we? We're not the neighborhood of the Bushes. I'm not some English guy with, take a walk through there, see if you find them out of the maze of bushes I've set up in my yard. They're bushes. Those bushes would be growing if I wasn't here. I don't give a shit. Well, Maureen, I hope you come to Thanksgiving. It's going to be quite the hootenanny.
I'm dying to go. I'm going to get right on the computer, although my computer's so slow. You might get the email next week, and I'll be cut out. But
oh, boy, CompuServe. All right. Talk to you later, sweetie.
Bye.
Peace. Nick, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
I have a question about the Thanksgiving show, too, as well. But when I was on hold, you were talking about the hurricane destruction. And, dude, luckily enough, I was able to go down to Richard Branson's private island, Necker Island, for film like 2 years ago. And, dude, that island is completely destroyed now. I mean, you're talking about completely luxury. It's not like, a little like, let's go see the local, cuisine or whatever. I mean, this is a luxury.
Yeah, we'll get around to protecting the billionaire's private island, but first, the island of Puerto Rico.
Anyways. But so the Thanksgiving show, first of all, how do I get tickets? And when was the date? I heard the lineup, but I missed the date.
It's November 14th, Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square. Go to BenningtonShow.com, BenningtonShow.com. You fill out a form, chance of free tickets. All right, my friend?
Awesome, man. All right, thanks, guys. Love
See
the
you
show.
there, Nick. Peace. Chris, nice opening today, too. So, what's this girl's name that looks like you, Jen?
Karuchi Tran.
Hey, let me see a picture of the two.
I have it on the Instagram, the Bennington Instagram.
Oh, great. All right, put that up. Yes, you show off. That's what Instagram is for.
This is it.
That is such a cute picture.
Which one's Karuchi?
Now, what is she? She's an actress?
Yeah. So she dated Chris Brown. Yeah. Disgusting. She was like, when they were having that whole Twitter war against each other, that was her. And then
now, on her side, what did she say about Chris Brown?
There's a little bit of dish right now because she just put out a restraining order against him.
Good. Good for her.
I wonder why. So she's hinting at the fact that she was abused when they were in a relationship. Yep. And one of the instances was that he punched her in the stomach.
Well, she was pregnant.
Oh, my God. Come on.
He's a jerk.
It's the worst. Why does he get to continue to be like a name that we have to still fucking say?
He's always.
Why is this possible?
By the way, Brad writes to Gail, hey, will you ask Chris if I would stay with him if I come to the Thanksgiving show?
What?
Not only will you stay with Chris, but he would love to take you to Sunday brunch.
Nice.
Would you like unlimited
Of course, Brad.
frozen margaritas?
We'd love to see you again.
Are there other guys or just you and the girls there at brunch?
No, there's another guy there who dates the other. Two people are dating her roommates.
So it's a 2-bedroom.
It's an entire brownstone, so they're like on above floor. There's multiple people on multiple floors. And they're all friends. It's very odd.
So there's no even disconnection between the floors? Like if you live on the one floor, you can go to the other floor?
Yeah. There's locks on their
house.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
And then they hear you up there doing the devil's business. They call it the 30-second rumble. I love that picture of you two.
It's so cute. You do look like you could be sisters.
That's why I was like, everybody always says we look alike. Every time I'm walking around this building, I think it was Bev Smith. She's like, you look like somebody. And I'm like, Karuchi, probably. Like, yeah.
Oh my God, you sad.
Jesus, Jim.
Chris told me he looked like George Clooney.
I tell people.
By the way, I just figured out that you are not calling her Karuchi like that's her last name. I was like, thought that she was, because it sounds like a last name.
Yeah, it does. But Tran
but
is
maybe
because
I know a Colucci that we just call Colucci. That's his last name.
So is she a Tran?
She is a Tran.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She's Vietnamese and Jamaican.
Tiki, you're on the Bennington show.
What's up, Ronnie B, Gail Bennington? How's everyone doing?
Hey, Gail Bennington, Ron Bennington.
Ew, him.
Did I say all of our names this morning when the show started?
You did.
I didn't remember.
Well, just ours.
Shout out to Pepper Hicks, a.k.a. Chris Stanley.
Big up to Chris HX.
Yeah, I'm getting married tomorrow, and I'm just on the drive listening to the show.
Dude, congratulations, man. You're doing the right thing.
I know.
Thank you so much.
Finally.
Doing the right thing.
I mean, she was bore-assing you about it for so long, and you finally did the right thing.
Like
But no, I just wanted to say I really enjoy your show. I don't call in often, but I listen every day religiously.
Thanks, my friend. Good.
And I had a Tito's moment myself about 2 months ago. I left my high-paying finance real estate job to kind of chase a passion.
What's the passion?
So I'm having a bit of a Tito's year. I have a soccer podcast. I've called you a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
The Rockin' the Soccer podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. We picked up the FanDuel live reads. I've been doing live reads as well, trying to emulate how you guys do your live reads, which is always entertaining. So
That's
I
great,
appreciate
man.
the show, guys.
All right. Talk to you later.
Good luck to you, and congrats.
I like the way people are emulating our live reads.
I know.
Then Barry Crimmins calls me and say, hey, I'm just going to fucking rip off on Mass. I'm like, sure, man.
Yeah, enjoy.
Do it.
Have it.
I wrote back, he sent me some stuff that's going on with him, some very cool stuff. And then I wrote back, so he's got that theater. I go, we'll come out and do shows in Chicago. I'm thinking baseball season.
That would be great.
Hell yeah.
I think next year we got to work it out so we're at Wrigley.
That'd be awesome. It's my Cubbies.
Those are your Cubbies?
Yeah, he's a Cubtown favorite, man. They call him Jackie Cubtown.
Yeah.
Heard anyone
They call me Cubbo.
that I believe.
The Pearl Jam singer, man, I was watching this sports show talking about him as if the name of because he's such a Cubs guy and how much he hangs out in Wrigleyville.
Mm-hmm.
And the stories they told, I'm going, is this Pearl Jam or Dude Bro Jam? Because they have went from being the kind of fringy, grungy, neo-punk band
Yeah,
to
like
being Dude Bro Central.
Eddie Vedder's whole persona, I thought in the beginning was like, I'm a weirdo type and like nobody accepts me because I got my long hair and all
Right.
that kind of stuff.
But he's a surfer, Cubs guy, hanging out, doing beers. And they're just like, oh yeah, my friends were eating at this place. And this guy just walks over and says, mind if I eat with you? And it's Eddie Vedder. And he just sits at their table, just hangs out with these guys, man. They said he was awesome, taking selfies with everybody, fucking doing Jell-O shots. So cool.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Everybody wants to be loved, I guess.
He needs
Look
more
at Chris
love.
Stanley. He goes out to brunch. I would have bet money against that.
Yeah. Just
Do
enjoy
you
it.
do a long brunch? Like you're hanging out for
course
like
he
2
does.
hours,
There's
3
alcohol.
hours?
It's all you can drink.
Yeah, it's unlimited. Yeah.
They got to get rid of him with a harpoon.
Do you guys sit outside or inside?
It's outside. We're outside, yeah.
So you can show off the sunglasses?
Yeah, so you can take off.
Oh, by the way, thank you to Vin who sent me some
Let me take a
awesome sunglasses. Actually, this is only one pair that I have here, but I took another pair home already, and those ones are even cuter. But
Oh, I dig those a lot.
aren't those neat?
Yeah.
And then the other ones are like black and pink. Like it looks like a classic car.
So
He's great.
I see Vin right after, and he goes, "Sunglasses look great, dude."
Yeah, you've been rocking them. They're
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, he was just like sitting in the back watching it, and just like saying to his chick, "You notice the shades he's got on, right? They're mine, 100%. Yeah. Every time he turns his head, they stay on properly. That's the grip. You're getting the full Vin grip on that.
The Vin grip.
He's a great
That's
guy.
the patented Vin grip.
Yeah. Did you get a pair too, Chris?
I don't believe so. No. It's fine. It's fine. I got blue blockers.
Yeah, you got brunch.
And I got brunch, blue blockers. It's fine.
Dude, this is the fuck. All right, remember this fucking idiot says that he's never seen anything but a pigeon in his life.
Yeah.
So me and him are sitting out yesterday. This is the time of the year that the birds are moving, right?
Yeah.
There's no name for it. I'll just call it hibernation.
Migrating. Migrating.
Yeah, okay, they're migrating. So they're fucking going. So sitting 4 feet from us is this little, I don't know what kind of bird. It's got yellow in it. It's got orange. I go, Chris, you say you never see any fucking thing. He goes, what? What? He doesn't see it because he's wearing fucking blue blockers.
Oh my God.
He doesn't know that birds are different because all the color is fucking taken out of his life when he's outside.
That's the reason, Chris.
I don't wear them 24/7.
Dude, we're sitting 4 feet away from a bird that I'd never seen before in my life, and it was gorgeous.
I thought it was brown. I just thought it was straight brown.
Bird watchers actually come. People that go around the mountains and shit, they actually come to Central Park because birds stop in Central Park. It's the most bizarre thing. It's like a natural stopping place for them on the East Coast.
They're like, oh, everywhere else around here is really shitty, but this one area is really nice.
They're gonna you're not going to believe it. They're just like us. They're like, look, there's this one place that's very green. And then I don't know if they go to Washington Square or not. I don't know. I didn't check. But that's crazy that he doesn't see the color of birds.
Yeah.
And I bet you don't even know the color of brunch. I bet you're like, can I have some of those gray eggs?
This food looks a little washed out. Put some more hot sauce on it.
You're blocking so much blue. You don't see anything.
I like even wearing non-blue blocker sunglasses doesn't feel right.
No, you've worn blue blockers as soon as that Vegas movie came out with Zach Galifianakis.
No, long before that.
He's actually yelled out in the movie, I'm going to get glasses like that, dude.
That never happened.
So that's the origin story of this?
No, it's not.
Yes.
Look, if we go to the pictures of me as a child, I was wearing blue blockers then. And I believe The Hangover came out long after I was 4 years old. As far as I could tell.
Okay, look, Ironside, you got it. You know what I mean? You're scoring points. Jen, you excited about Thanksgiving?
I'm really excited.
You bringing
really
your family again?
Right now it's like a dilemma because I invited my dad and his girlfriend, but then my mom really wants to come, and I can't have unless we put them at different tables.
Yeah, we put them at different places.
Very far away because my mom can't run into her.
No problem.
Oh, shit.
But why would you do that to your mom? Why would you invite your dad's girlfriend?
Because my dad's been looking forward. He loved the Thanksgiving last year. He loved the food. He loved he wants to show off to his girlfriend our Thanksgiving event. So
that's so cute.
Did you invite Carucci?
Dude, I'd love to invite Carucci.
Just get Carucci down.
If she wants to be punched in the belly, I'm just the guy.
If that's what she's into, if that's her thing. Some people are into weird stuff.
Should we play this Lawrence O'Donnell stuff? We didn't really play it yesterday.
I vote yes because I love it, but...
Yeah. All right, so this is... and by the way, what is fucking Vito up to today that he can't be part of the thing?
He's working on something for possibly next week.
Is that why he was getting so sassy before?
He was sassy.
He was getting so sassy. I had to say something. I said, I notice your sass.
Good. That's good to say.
I see your sass and I don't like it.
You put the sass up your ass. Well, you know what? He saw fucking all you three got good boy points last night.
Yeah.
And he really didn't have it. Well, he did something cool that's going to come off next Friday.
Yeah.
He got that poster signed.
Right.
And that poster, I was thinking about keeping for myself.
It's an awesome poster.
Why did I even bring it up on the air?
Maybe they'll forget about it.
Forget what I said, everybody.
Jen, can you hit the dump button? We have enough time.
Everybody hit their own internal dump button. All right, so this is Lawrence O'Donnell. You know him from being the intense guy on MSNBC. Now, I was reading today, they're like, only a couple of people could have leaked this, and they're out to get him. And he goes, there's only one person to blame here, and that's me, the way I've acted. So he's taking full responsibility for his dickiness. All right, this is him. I guess that they're doing a run through, or is this taping the show?
I think it's taping the show.
I always thought these shows were live. That's why I fucking hate the news.
I don't think that it is. I think it is live. I think that they're going from, they have a talking head and he's going back and forth, and then they go.
He stops
But he goes to commercial, and then they go to tape sometimes. Don't they have like pre-tape things?
They tape during something else is running. And
Yeah.
this was leaked.
It's like...
Yeah, but you still throw it to commercials when you're recording.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do everything the same so you don't have to re-edit. Anyway, this is him losing his shit doing his show.
To bring any empathy with him, but he did bring a hat. A hat that is for sale.
58 seconds.
What's going on? Why am I losing this? Why don't I have sound? All right, it's back. Someone's pressing buttons and turning my sound off. Who's asking for a Labor Day rundown in my ear? Someone in that control room is out of control.
Oh, we never used this before.
20 seconds.
Fucking.
God damn it.
10 seconds. Four.
So the president went to Texas today, and as Politico reports, he did not meet a single storm victim, see an inch of rain, or get near a flooded street. Born in horrific disaster and tragedy, and into that tragedy today stepped the president of the United States.
23 seconds.
There's insanity in the control room tonight.
Stop it for a second. So those things, here's what happens. He just totally does that.
Yeah, he like silently rages, but he like shakes his fist as he does it and grits his teeth, and it's the funniest shit to me. Oh my god!
All right, that's it.
4.
If you think the president's language was a little too celebratory about the sudden fame that can happen to people during hurricane coverage, a fame no one should welcome, if you think the president's language missed closer and closer to the president himself. One of the deaths in Houston that was ignored by President Trump is Police Sergeant Steve Perez, who had been missing since Sunday morning. You have insanity in my earpiece.
I love these people.
Don't leave it there. It's not my earpiece. It's somebody talking on our lines.
Oh my god.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
President Trump did not mention Sergeant Perez today, and he has not tweeted about people are in shelters across Texas tonight. Here's Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner this afternoon. Every time we go to a SOT, there's a woman talking in my ear about something that has nothing to do with what we're doing here.
All right, this is definitely live.
Yeah, SOT is sound on tape, so they're cutting.
10 seconds.
This is up on the iBang, by the way. It's really great.
Joining us now, James Fallows, national correspondent for The Atlantic and former speechwriter for President Jimmy Carter. Also with us, Josh Earnest, former White House press secretary for President Obama. He's an MSNBC political.
What do you have, one sentence on every fucking piece of paper you have?
I know.
What's that mean?
He's trying to give him a sign. Getting so...
Sign of what, though?
Get out of his way. It's just short.
James Fallows and Josh Earnest, thank you both for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Coming up, is Donald Trump going to be called to testify to Congress? Michael Iskoff has the latest on that. Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it? Where's the hammer? Is it on the... Go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering.
Stop the goddamn
the hammering. I'll go down to the goddamn floor myself and stop it. Keep the goddamn commercial break going. Call fucking Phil Griffin. I don't care who the fuck you have to call. Stop the hammering.
Somebody get Phil Griffin on the line.
Phil, I don't know how to say this. Lawrence is a little mad.
Empty out the goddamn control room and find out where this is going on. It's either there or there.
He's mad
or
at
out
everybody.
there somewhere.
He says it's out there, but it's not. It's in here.
He didn't really narrow it down for them, did he? It's up there or down there or out there.
The woman talking in my ear was talking about the Labor Day special repeatedly every time we went to a SOT. Yeah, what do you mean in the conversation? Not in the Bush SOT, no.
No, here's the thing. He's raging, but he can't move his straight body because he doesn't want to look like, you know what I mean? You have to stay.
Exactly.
Whatever that thing is that makes your suit and tie look perfect.
Yeah, he's got to stay in frame. He can't get ruffled. He can't go crazy. So he's just raging, but in the same position. And that's why you see him doing this little, it's like going like this because he can't express it. Oh my God, it makes me so happy.
Let's hit it again.
Fucking out of control.
Fucking out of control shit. Just throw him. How many papers does he have?
Maybe he has bad eyesight.
Everyone does.
1 minute.
Get a teleprompter.
Look at that laser surgery, Lawrence.
Harass and intimidate people of color. The new sheriff of Maricopa County, who beat Joe Arpaio, joins us next. I don't know why I bother to say how to cut the SOTs when you don't do it. I just don't. I don't know why I just. So now I have to chase those stupid goddamn entrails that you allowed him to stick out there.
What?
Jesus Christ.
God.
Crazy fucking sound coming in my ear. This fucking stupid hammering.
Not easy. Lawrence, you give and give.
I told you why I wanted those fucking words cut. It just fucking sucks. It fucking sucks to be out here with this out of control shit. Any fucking thing can come into my ear at any moment. That's what I know. Anybody can get into my fucking ear at any time. Some woman talking about what we're doing after the show.
We can go out. There's a little place not far from Macy's. And you get like an enchilada. You like Mexican?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
These fucking things.
I know. But
There's a reason these words have to be cut precisely.
But we didn't want to do the extra work.
What do you guys want to do about
And everyone in the
Liberty
audience
special?
is going to complain about what that guy just said is absolutely right.
Well, we'll be 3 martinis in by that time. won't we? Lawrence. Hold on, I got to nail this. Do you have I'm using 2 hammers right now.
How do you say this guy's last name?
It's Cunty Bums. There he is, man. He is intense.
Fucking guests' faces coming up in the middle of a fucking script.
He's right. Look, I watch his show. It sucks. I mean, it's really bad. It looks like somebody's fucking producing with their knees. All right. So the thing is, if I was an exec from NBC and I fucking saw him acting like this, I'd be like, I had no idea he was this good. This is a guy who cares about his shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'll also say this. I've worked in radio a long time, doing spots, blah, blah, blah. I've seen everyone I know act like that.
100%.
Everyone I fucking know.
That's why I love this so much, is not because oh, he's an asshole, because it's so relatable.
Yeah.
Like, who hasn't been in that position? Who has not been in the situation where you're just like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm dealing with so much, and you guys are giving me fucking nothing.
What did he ask for? He asked for the fucking thing for a couple words to be edited off.
Yeah.
That's the job.
Yeah.
You were an editor. Edit it.
Dude.
Or just say, hey, Lawrence, I decided not to edit that thing.
And
now you guys need to find out live on the air.
Now, this is the funniest shit, is that you know that I am so obsessed with the leak tape of Bill O'Reilly, and this is the exact they're having
same thing.
the same moment, because Bill O'Reilly has pretty much the exact thing where he's pissed about the script that he has to read, and he's like, fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. And I'm like, I actually like Bill O'Reilly in this moment. Like, I get this dude. It's just something so funny. That, and it's just like that dad anger where it's just like raging man can't like express how mad he is. Right. Just pure dad anger might be the thing that gets me in that like church giggle thing worse than anything in the world. That kind of laughter where you feel like you're in school again and you're not supposed to be laughing. That's what that shit brings out in me.
The dad anger comes from, I want to punch this 4-year-old, but I know I will kill him if I do.
Right.
But I don't want to yell at him or slap him. I want to punch him like he's a man. And I can't do it. I can't expect my anger.
Oh my God, it's so fucking funny to me.
But honestly, I'm not only have I seen every fucking on-air host do this, I've also seen every producer and every fucking PD, everyone.
I don't think that there is a person we work with the exception of Jen, that I haven't seen behave like this.
I saw Jen get red ass about something. I can't think of what it was right now.
What
but
was
somebody annoyed her.
Oh,
I forget
wish
who.
I could know. But I think all of us have been in that state where we're just like so pissed about the way.
Well, here's what's happening too. It's a live fucking show, so he's so pissed that he can't go out and take a walk or have a smoke.
Yeah,
he's stuck there, and he's not getting people to answer his fucking request.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing what he asked.
Yeah. It's so, and I know for a fact, like, you could see how fucking brutal that job is. And there are so many people who do that kind of broadcasting that just blows my mind. It blows my mind that somebody can listen to someone give updates in their ear while they're being handed information, while a guest is popping up that
It's
they
really
just
hard.
found out that they're going to have 5 minutes ago, and sound informed and normal and not in a state of panic. Just, I can't even imagine how somebody does that. That's going to be the most intense,
especially like by
broadcasting
themselves.
gigs.
No, like, co-host.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Like sometimes, even the broadcasters who kind of annoy me, it is impressive that they're sitting there, they're locking eyes with the camera, and they just keep going until the commercial break.
Yeah, it's
And they're
unbelievable most of the time.
And they're getting updates the whole
Yeah.
time. Like someone's like, actually, we just found out that the press conference is about to begin. So if you could just stretch for 10 seconds, I would be like, hold on, audience. Someone's saying something. I can't talk and listen at the same time. That's crazy.
How many times does Chris just do this to us before we come back from break? 60 seconds. 50 seconds. And I'm like, what are you fucking doing, Chris? And he's like, I just want to let you know how much time. I go, I'm sitting here. I'll know we're back on the air when I hear the rejoinder music.
30 seconds.
He does that shit. Who taught you to do that?
And sometimes he forgets, and you'll say that to him, and then he'll do it again the next break, and it'll be like 30 seconds, and you'll just look at him, and he's like, he does a face like, "Shoop, you want to hear another thing out of me,
Who told
boss?"
you that was a good idea to do?
Earl, I believe. I picked that
Why?
up from Earl.
Why?
Earl was always giving people time updates.
But there are time to do time updates, but when I hear 20 seconds and then 10 seconds...
Those are 5 seconds out, man.
I don't...
4.
I can see if I'm in the hall, yell at me. 10 seconds!
Right.
But I'm sitting here in front of the mic.
Looks like Spot's about that.
Fucking somebody's in my ear right now. Cocksucker with the entrails thing. And he's just... How many papers he have? He's just... He'll read one. He'll read like this. Tonight, in other news, I just found out we have... You're like, what do you have? 2 fucking words per page?
And then the angry crumpling was giving me so much joy. How many times did I tell you how to cut these up? But you don't listen, do you? God, it's fucking funny. It's so funny.
There's insanity right now.
But I'll tell you, I've never liked that dude, and I kind of like him now. Now that I've seen him in this vulnerable place.
To me, the funniest thing is his body doesn't move with all the rage. Because if his body moves, his fucking shirt tail comes out and everyone hates TV.
He does stuff. Like his hands just like rage. And then, but it's like he does that while someone's going 5 seconds, and he only has 1 second to do that. It's so good.
5 seconds. 5 seconds healing. Look at this fucking. They saved a woman a woman that was an overturned boat in
Holy
the middle of
shit.
the hurricane. They came and swept her up, her and her kid.
Holy shit.
Unbelievable. And in Mexico is heartbreaking.
Oh God, it's like there's so many things right now that are just so devastating.
By the way, when you watch these rescuers and the people there and all, you're like, why do we feel like we're different than Mexicans, that we need a wall? You know what I mean? These are the same people as us.
Yeah.
They're reacting the same way that we react when we have tragedy. There's no difference. It's fucking made up that people are different. They just aren't, you know? I know Rocket Man is calling Trump a dotard right now.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that one got to him.
I know. And I'll have to say this. I had to look it up. I was like, is that dotard or dotard or what is it? I never
It's like
even...
doddering. You ever hear like doddering when you
Yeah.
say, but we never call somebody a dotard.
I had to look it up.
Chris, I want you to read the speech as if you were Rocket Man. Okay, it's everywhere right now. Just find it on the internet. Find it on the. It's insanity in that booth. He shits every time he has to piss. Every fucking time he doesn't use a urinal. Not once. By the way, when you ended the show with Only Women Bleed, did you think I was going to like it or hate it?
I thought you were going to like it. I didn't.
But you thought there was a chance, right?
Yeah, there was a chance. Yeah, but I took the chance
Because we never end ever.
Yeah.
Of all the things, and he ends with that song. And I was walking back through the room with her as that song was playing, and people were just reaching out.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fucking magical.
Yeah, it was.
And then
really
I thought
cool.
to myself, Chris took a chance. Chris Stanley took a chance.
He did. Now, Chris, did you think of that beforehand or
No.
while the interview?
There's no way.
Yeah, I would have brought it up to Ron.
Yeah.
He never would have. I knew that he decided to do that.
It was
I knew-
awesome. It was a
Yes,
really good
man.
call.
It was like
It
I
was
don't-
really special.
I don't know if it would have worked in this studio, you know what I mean? But the fact that we were
Yeah.
at that club and I like Pamela Adlon now even more than I did before.
Yeah,
And
I feel the
said,
same way.
I've been a fan for years. Can't wait till people hear this next week. Can't wait to hear Chris's great production. Did you find Rocket Man?
I'm
The
still
speech
looking.
today? Still looking. It's
But he
everywhere.
was just looking that way and nodding.
He was nodding and loving
He
his life.
forgot. He was just enjoying his compliment. That
I
was
was
so
just-
cute.
By the
Oh,
way,
he forgot.
I like my good boy points.
It's why it's hard for him to for Lawrence O'Donnell to do something while somebody's talking in his ear. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, I'm paying attention to this other
Yeah.
thing. Lawrence O'Donnell, I think he's friends with Penn Jillette.
Yeah, I remember. I was thinking that when I watched it because I remember Penn Jillette kept referencing
Yeah.
him and he was calling him Larry, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Larry O'Donnell about this.
Cool. I only know him as Lawrence at a very formal stage. Oh man, they send those dogs down in holes looking for people. Can't stand it. There's too much pain in the world.
It's too
But-
heartbreaking.
Like I remember I said to Mr. Rogers' mom, look for the helpers, I said to her.
Mhm. That was you told her that.
Yeah, why?
Wow. I mean, it's a pretty well-known thing, and then
What do
she
you mean
passed
well
it
known how?
because she passed it on to her son.
Did she credit me?
No, she doesn't credit you. I mean, he credits his mom when
Yeah, but he
Mr.
did-
Rogers talks about it. He says, "My mom used to say this."
Yes, but she got it from me.
He never brought it up.
Oh, fuck. I remember when I met Mr. Rogers, I said to him, Mr. Rogers, I think what you've done for children over the years has just been amazing. And he goes, hey, My dad's Mr. Rogers. Call me Fast Fab. Ready? It's a Fast Fab. Dude, that's not even the right way of saying it. That's not even the right way of saying it. You got confused.
You're so confused.
What are you doing, Chris? You can't find it?
Fred.
Found it. I got it. I was just
All right, so this is what's that?
I was just formatting it.
Don't format it. Just fucking say it.
All right.
So this is Kim Jong-un talking about our president, Donnie Trump.
The speech made by the U.S. president in his maiden address on the UN arena in the prevailing serious circumstances in which the situation on the Korean peninsula has been rendered tense as never before and is inching closer to a touch-and-go state is arousing worldwide concern. Shaping the general idea of what he would say, I expected he would make stereotyped, prepared remarks, a little from what he used to utter in his office on the spur of the moment, as he had to speak on the world's biggest official diplomatic stage. But far from making any remarks of any persuasive power that could be viewed to be helpful in diffusion tension, he made unprecedented rude nonsense no one has ever heard from any of his predecessors. A frightened dog barks louder. I'd like to advise Trump to exercise prudence in selecting words and be considerate of whom he speaks to when making a speech in front of the world. The mentally deranged behavior of the U.S. president openly expressing on the UN arena the unethical will to totally destroy a sovereign state beyond the boundary of threats and regime change or overturn of social system makes even those with normal thinking faculty think about discretion and composure. His remarks remind me of such words as political layman and political heretic, which were in vogue in reference to Trump during his presidential election campaign. After taking office, Trump has rendered the world restless through threats and blackmail against all countries in the world. He is unfit to hold the prerogative of supreme command of a country and is surely a rogue and a gangster fond of playing with fire rather than a politician. His remarks, which describe the U.S. option through straightforward expression of his will, have convinced me, rather than frightened or stopped me, that the path I chose is correct and that it is the one I have to follow to the last. Now that Trump has denied the existence of and insulted me and my country in front of the eyes of the world and made the most ferocious declaration of war in history that he would destroy the DPRK, we will consider with seriousness exercising a corresponding highest level of hardline countermeasure in history. Action is the best option in treating the dotard who, hard of hearing, is uttering only what he wants to say.
Right, stop there for a second. He says that Trump is a dotard and hard of hearing and just utters things. All right, go ahead.
As a man representing the DPRK and on behalf of the dignity and honor of my state and people and on my own, I will make the man holding the prerogative of the supreme command in the U.S. pay dearly for his speech, calling for totally destroying the DPRK. This is not a rhetorical expression loved by Trump. I am now thinking hard about what response he could have expected and when he allowed such eccentric words to trip off of his tongue. Whatever Trump might have expected, he will face results beyond his expectation. I will surely and definitely tame the mentally deranged U.S. dotard with fire.
Double dotard? I didn't realize he said it twice.
And he's going to tame the old dotard with fire. So he's just saying this is an old man, a hard of hearing old man who mutters and shit.
He talks crazy.
Senile.
So I sent to a friend of mine last night, Rocket Man Pence 2020. You know, it's a funny joke. And then they said back to me that a lot of liberals are saying, hey, I agree with him. I agree with the fucking North Korean nut.
Well, it is not easy. Like, at first you're just like, ha, he's got Trump's number. And then you hear him start to be like, I will respond with fire. And you're like, wait a second, hold on. These just jokes that he said. Let's not take it too personal. Yeah, he's crazy.
It's kind of exciting for me, though, because you don't normally get to see heel in a big match like this.
Yeah. Oh, this is heel versus heel. And in many ways, those are always the most entertaining.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't even come close. This is the most exciting day of our lives, ladies and gentlemen. What, do you got something for us? You want us to do a little live read there? Sure. I'll do a live read for you. You look just like, I forget the girl's name. I'm just going to say Caribou, but I don't think
it's Colucci.
Coochie, right? It's Coochie.
So it's not Caribou?
Scaramucci, I think? At Dish, they believe in the power of listening.
Dish.
They believe in it so much that Dish is the first TV provider to partner with another great listener, Amazon Alexa. Now with Dish, you can use Amazon Alexa to control your Hopper DVR using just your voice.
With Dish and Amazon Alexa, you can do things like find your favorite show, search for family movies, or find your team's game in an instant. Tell Alexa to pause, resume, and rewind live TV and recordings without having to touch a remote. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the new way to watch TV hands-free. With Dish and Amazon Alexa, Dish tuned into you.
To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH, go to dish.com, or visit a local retailer near you. Requires internet-connected Hopper or Wally and Amazon Echo, Echo Dot, or Amazon Tap. Other restrictions apply. For full details, 1-844-CALL-DISH. Dish tuned into you.
We're back with the Bennington Show.
You guys are great.
You guys are great, man. We're all still riding high because of Pamela Adlon and the fact that we announced this kick-ass Thanksgiving show. Chris, play the promo that you put together.
The promo is not ready yet.
I'm sorry, on announcement day?
I know. I understand.
Are we going to play the promo after the show is sold out? God damn it, Chris. This is the big... Somebody's talking in my fucking ear right now. They're saying that the price of a basket of peaches. Why? Why are we talking about peaches? Is there a dentist drill? Is there a dentist drilling? Because I smell tooth. Anyway, we're doing the big Bennington show. There's no promo for you, but if there was, it'd be like Kick-Ass, Tuesday, November 14th, 8 p.m. in the big room of the Hard Rock Cafe. Big J. Oakers and Take and Dan Soder. Take on Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. In the radio newlywed game. That's not all. The AA show takes on Voss and Bonnie in a Pier 9 brawl. Tuesday, November 14th. Go to the BenningtonShow.com. Fill out a form for a chance at free tickets. He actually puts in there, fill out a form.
Tuesday.
Tuesday is Tuesday.
What?
As Voss and Bonnie.
Fire that VO guy. I heard him say Tuesday. Please stick to the script, sir.
The Jews are coming to the Hard Rock Cafe. And a meatball eating manager is going to be there to meet them. Hard Rock Johnny finally puts down the garlic bread and mouth organ. Well, I guess that's not a now. They play what is like a squeeze box.
Yeah.
Dude, if Johnny comes out and he's just playing a fucking squeeze box and he's got a monkey with him and that monkey runs along giving like little pieces of turkey to everybody.
It's amazing.
Little pieces of that's adorable. That is so cute.
So your dad's girlfriend wasn't there last year?
She wasn't. He went with my mom and my sister.
And you thought they were getting back together last year.
Yeah. Thought this would reunite them.
So this is what, Better Things is kind of about. Why is it that we always pick the dad who left over the mom who stayed?
I don't know. What is that?
We do it. I think we all secretly want to hurt our moms.
Why do we, though? I mean, they're the best people.
It's because they're our whole world. And to grow up, right, you have to destroy that world to get to the next one, where you make your wife feel bad. Thank you for ruining it. Another fucking holiday. Why do I got to get up early in the morning to watch the kids open their presents? Why can't we get up, eat, and then the kids can get to their presents? Washington Square. So we were talking over, I don't know whether you saw next week, but she's on Better Things. Pamela is doing voiceover work, and they're doing
Yeah.
cartoon stuff.
I saw
and
the little
that's
teaser for it.
SpongeBob, which is what's his name? He was
is it
Bobcat? Tomcat.
Tomcat. Yeah.
So, and then I don't know who the other one is, but those are like some of the big voiceover guys. And I know you worked with voiceover actors.
Yeah.
A lot of voiceover actors are just so bummed out that the movies now have been given to stars. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's
and
like
they don't think they're very good at it.
the movies have been given to movie stars. And then the animated TV shows are all comedians.
Right. And what we look for now is recognizable voices rather than characters.
Right.
They want you to go, hey, it's Patton Oswalt, rather than hey, it's the big blue meanie.
Right, exactly. Which is a kind of a shame because those people are like so serious about their art form.
Yeah. Well, I remember one time years ago, the girl she was a Powerpuff Girl, and she was also in Valley Girl.
Oh, she's great. Hold on, I got to think of her.
Not too cool, Julie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She's so great.
So
It's gonna bug me. Elizabeth Daily?
That's her,
Yeah,
Elizabeth Daily. So she came in. I forget what she was promoting, but she was like, and Fez used to do the what do you call it voice? The what's the fucking Pee Wee Herman?
Oh,
So
yeah.
he acted
Oh,
out a
yeah.
scene with her, and it was really adorable. It's actually one of my favorite moments ever. So she says to me, "Oh, you would be good at voiceover because you're squishy." No one wants to hear that they're squishy. I don't even know what that means exactly, but it's a good thing in voiceover.
Well, when I was just first getting into voiceover, this voiceover coach had told me that I was good for voiceover, but not for professional voiceover, not for professional like where you're like Carnival Cruises, like one of those kind of voices,
Yeah.
but for character voices because I have high tones and low tones both in my voice, and then kind of a gravel and also nasal. So it sounds kind of unique. Like
But you couldn't be like the
like I
person you're
couldn't
dialing
be,
is not here right now.
Exactly, or like somebody who's just like side effects may include
I
like
love
because
those voices too,
those
though.
kind of voices, like the nasal cavity is like open, it's like all airy. You can like kind of hear the up here. It's like all I can't. It's hard for me to even do it because I can feel right in my nose, which kind of is like gives that tonality. But for those kind of voices, just like with Pamela Adlon, and I, said the actress who plays Lisa Simpson, she's got such unique character to her voice that you're not really going to mix it up with anybody else. So you do want something different about your voice if you're going to do for character. If it's character, you're going to
And what do you call the other voice that are like? I call them like American Englishmen, the people who talk like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something. This is going to stun you. But one of the most beautiful men's voices that you'll ever hear is Teller from Penn and Teller.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think there's a Dice where he talks, the Dice TV show, and where Dice is like, stop fucking around. I know you talk, right? And then he could be the third Fraser brother.
Right.
And don't they remind you of like American Englishmen, like the Frasers? Like,
yeah, they do, yeah. Well, because it's, it's like commercial actors have it. And sometimes they say like a vanilla accent, but then there's also a tonality to it. But it's like
the vanilla accent to me is like in Iowa, Nebraska. It doesn't impress me. But I used to love, and these people are gone. They used to exist. WASP, right?
Yeah.
The white Anglo-Saxon Protestants who were like gentlemen college people, like people who would go to Yale to just be, to learn how to handle the money that they were left.
Like George Plimpton, almost that kind of voice.
George Plimpton is a good example, but he's even a little weirdly New Englandy or Long Island soundy. But they used to just be in people that were above it all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like and they weren't bad people. They were like, we have to do something to help the Negroes. Perhaps I can put on a golf tournament in my living room. Those people are gone. They used to exist.
I'm always fascinated by dead accents. Like The transatlantic accent, which was kind of created. It wasn't a natural accent, which they were doing for broadcasters, actors. And so they took a little bit of just sort of an American standard vanilla kind of accent, mixed it with like that's like the transatlantic. It's like all like the old time movie stars like have this accent. And you're like, is it British? But it's not New York, and it's not. But it almost sounds British, and they mix that with certain British.
So it was a way to act on stage. It was in a way
exactly.
to act
it wasn't
on
a real accent. It was only actors and broadcasters used that accent, and they were like, "Tell me a thing or two about a thing or two," like blah blah blah, like that kind of voice.
That did not exist in real life.
It was kind of created, and it was kind of created to sound proper, to sound. A bit expensive, you know what I mean? It was just to sound
I'll
sophisticated.
tell you something, Mr. Charleston. I'm never coming back here again. And if I do, it'll be with a fucking machine gun and lay out you and your whole family.
I said good day, sir. I said good day.
Boom, boom. People were always like fucking, just taken back by that. The woman was so sassy that a man lost his hat.
I like that. And then like the more extreme, like male version of that where it's like 1901. That like voice or like.
Is that not real too?
Yeah, like that's kind of, I think, also under
Lindbergh has landed, but he's landed wearing Nazi pants.
That's a kind of dead accent, and then that real Southern belle accent, like that I do declare, like that kind of Southern doesn't really exist.
No, it doesn't exist at all anymore. It
like
doesn't.
That proper upper class, seems like you should be walking around with a parasol or something. That accent kind of doesn't exist, and Southern is just like kind of gritty and blah blah blah.
But I always like the Atlanta accent. Seems like they're working to be understood. You know what I mean? Like they try to act like we're not some hillbillies like these other people.
Yeah.
You can still hear a little Southern, but I'm talking with money.
Right, exactly.
Hey, Justin, what's up?
What's up, Ronnie?
Yes.
Hey, I think Gail touched on it, but I believe it's called a mid-Atlantic accent, somewhere in between English and American, right in the middle of the Atlantic there.
Give me your example of what you think it sounds like, sir.
I would say it's kind of like Vincent Price.
All right, Vincent Price. That's an interesting one. And that was like the Orson Welles was a very trained
it's like
actor.
Very proper, but you're like, it sounds like you're kind of British, but not.
But we still do the bod.
Right, exactly.
And you know what's great? Like, you watch anything from Orson Welles, and everyone just thinks of him as, the fat guy at the end of his life selling fucking no wine before it's time. And his garbage wine he's just fucking selling on TV. But he's like 21 years old, and he's running Broadway, radio, which was like having a number one TV show because there weren't TV shows, and films in the 30s. And he's 21 years old.
It's crazy.
And he has an entire cast that he's taking from one to the next. Like, he's responsible for all this money. And he just had this weird self-belief. And he's like, what do you do next, Mr. Wells? After Scranton? Next, I bring Othello to the stage. And he was just like, he's a kid. He's a baby. He's younger than Vito. And his confidence is crazy. I'm going to show the Englishman a thing or two about Shakespeare. His just belief in himself was out of control. It's our friend Julian. Hey, Julian, what's up?
Hi.
Hey.
Ron, you know the story. I wrote it to you once, but this is the most embarrassing moment of my life, and it has to do with voiceover, and also Gail, because she was there. So you guys hooked me up with an audition at Rockstar, which I still thank you for. And Gail, I've always really admired you, so I get really flustered around you. So it's always been really awkward to be around you, for me at least, because I get very flustered. And so I go in for this audition, I check in with you, And then I'm really nervous. It's hot and sweaty because it was summer, so my shirt has makeup all over it. My hair is all frizzy. Just a mess. Everything is just a mess. And then I go into the room, and they ask me to audition, and they ask me to do the one thing I cannot do, which is a Brazilian accent. And I just butchered it so hard.
Now, you're from Brazil.
But I, never learned the accent because it's when I grew up here, they just tried to eliminate that from my vocabulary. They didn't want me to talk like that. So I just never learned it. But I'm around it all the time, but I still could never really capture it. Oh my God, it was so fucking embarrassing.
It's so funny. I remember the game because it was a game that they did. It was like one of the Max Payne games or something. And that was always the trickiest thing is that, those games have so many unique voices in it.
Yeah.
So all those characters, which they call PEDs, like pedestrians, are moving throughout the world. And you could imagine somebody's just okay, cool. So we need 200 unique Brazilian accents. And you're like, how am I going to find 200 people? You're like 5, maybe I can find 5.
Yeah.
So it was always really difficult to find that stuff.
So even though they needed 200, Julian wasn't one of the 200. But Chris, have you ever done the voiceover stuff?
I never have. No, I feel like I'd be good at it too.
Well, remember when they wanted to use you for Ghostbusters?
Yeah, and I thought I nailed it. Go Ghostbusters!
No,
That's a great character for anything.
But you did a New York accent that no longer exists.
I know, but I felt like I got to represent New York, a New York that's long dead.
The Ghostbusters all looked and go,
No.
Go Ghostbusters.
So, Julian, was that the end of your voiceover career?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm literally shaking telling this story still.
Don't be. That's so silly.
But everybody gets that. You know what I mean? There are times when you do feel exposed in the world when someone just hey, I hate when someone says, tell your story. You know what I mean?
That's the worst.
And you're like, but I tell these stories organically, not when you tell them.
Yeah, or someone's just talk about this, and you're like, what? And it's something specific about you. There was even a moment when I was hanging out with Nick DiPaolo. He's like, well, what else do you do? I was like, what? And I was like, what do you? I was like, I don't know. What do you mean? I do a radio show every day. I thought that's what we were going to talk about. He's like, yeah, but outside of that, I was like,
I darn flags. I find old hammered up flags.
I don't know what. I was just hang out with people and I cook food. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I couldn't think.
But
I was
you know what? You were so cute. You two were so cute together. It was like the old Mary Tyler Moore show where her boss would be grumpy and stuff, but he still liked her.
Right.
But he wasn't going to say that he liked her. I don't know if it's in Nick DiPaolo to cuddle up and just be buddies.
I know. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried to paw at him. Meow.
Meow, meow, meow. Bad Nick. Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow. Different politics. Meow, meow.
Sean, North Carolina. What's up, Sean?
Hey, Ronnie B. Yeah. The grandfather off the Silver Spoons, and he also did a commercial in the 70s and 80s. And this is going to go over like a fart in a diver's helmet with my Appalachian accent, but it was, they make money the old-fashioned way. They punch.
Oh, John Houseman.
Okay.
John Houseman, that was his name. And he was in the paper chase and Children Welcome to this school. And he was the long, and you will find out that most of you will be gone from here by the end of the thing. But I remember Robin Williams was accepted to Juilliard. And he got there, and John Houseman was the dean of Juilliard then. And he was like, you must surrender yourselves to the theater, not TV, not film. Theater's what. And he goes, 2 weeks later, the guy's selling fucking AT&T on TV. You know what I mean? The same guy who said it's about theater and nothing else. Now, everyone was like, TV sucks. Wait, I just got an offer. I'm on my way to Hollywood. But yes, that was that thing that for whatever reason you thought that he was intelligent. And English people have this all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out, oh no, Peter O'Toole was lower class Irishman.
Right.
But he learned to talk like, he was supposed to. Earl Flynn was from, I think, Tasmania. Over near, you know what I mean? Like some shitty island near fucking Australia that was, and he just wanted to do Shakespeare and
Wow.
became an action star. And he was like, please, what I really want to do. And you love Shakespeare, right?
I do, yeah.
I can't say that I connect with it the way people do. For some reason, I connect better when they're wearing modern clothes.
Right.
And when they're wearing those stupid leotards and
Like
shit.
Romeo plus Juliet, or the modern day Macbeth, I think that they did with.
Yeah, I can feel more comfortable with that. Then I'm like, oh, I see. So this is a corporation that's being run here.
Totally, yeah.
It's just too much work for me to do. Eric in New Jersey. Eric, what's up?
Hey, Ron, I was just thinking back to the weirdest accent was Dr. Smith on Lost in Space. I don't know where that
accent.
Grab us some Lost in Space there. Dear boy. He would always be, he would be like
Dr. Smith, right?
Yeah, Dr. Smith. And he would be panicking, but he still seemed like he was superior to you. And then the second that, he got on top, he was a total asshole again. The Lost in Space, Dr. Smith.
He was my alter ego, and he was wise to me and a danger to me. Always calling in those dreadful alliteratives to keep him down so he wouldn't expose me. You computerized cloud. Bubble-headed booby. Jabbering Judas. Bumbling bird brain. Neanderthal ninny. Tattling coward. Mental midget.
All right, so let's stop there for a second. So that's that fucking Fraser Crane. You think you're better than me just walking in here. You know what I mean? You've just walked into the room and you fucking act like you're better than me.
Right.
We kind of hate that in the United States.
And then he was born in the U.S., but he has that accent.
Who, Dr. Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
I think it's that Mid-Atlantic thing. I think he went to school and learned to talk that way, and then always plays that part. Michael in New Hampshire. Michael.
Ronnie B.
Yeah.
That oldie-timey radio accent, like, the boys went out there to fight the crowd.
Yeah.
Ice cold Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and you're saying that accent really didn't exist?
Yeah, I think that is kind of also. I don't know if it's exactly the same as the Mid-Atlantic, but that kind of radio voice I heard, just like the Mid-Atlantic, was more taught to broadcasters to kind of keep their sounds rounder so it wasn't so sharp.
Yeah.
So they kind of leaned a little on like British pronunciations in some ways, maybe just to like round out those vowels, just keep them very round.
And a big part of it is, I can understand her.
Yes,
'cause
exactly.
I'm a slurrer. Chris is a slurrer.
Yeah.
And, when I came into radio, literally was the first generation of, you're not going to pretend that you're someone else. And you're not going to change your name to, fucking Charlie Turntable. This is Charlie Turntable. You know what I mean? Like, everybody did
Coming at you live from the studios.
And we're puking. Jeff in Providence. Jeff.
Hey, good afternoon, Benny.
Yeah.
Charles Emerson Winchester from Ash. I grew up in Boston. I never heard anybody speak like that.
Well, his thing was he was above Boston, right?
Right.
So go and find him. It's Winchester from the TV show MASH. And the whole point of him was he was, again, better than everyone else. And they hated him, but they couldn't beat him at a lot of shit either.
Right.
Like, he really was smart.
Say Americans are crude. Oh, come on, Charles. Where's your Halloween spirit? Halloween spirit? At any moment, a wounded soldier could come in here, truly needing my services. And what am I doing? I am treating some leather brain who literally decided to have a ball. I will show him some Halloween spirit.
These are the people, right, that,
I'm Dr. Winchester.
like, for fun, would listen to opera, right? So we were
Yeah.
like, I don't know if he's faking it.
The first time I ever became aware of it, I was a little kid and I was watching The Parent Trap. And I mean, the original gangster Parent Trap.
Okay.
Not with Lindsay Lohan.
Not the shit that Chris likes, the
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan shit.
He's such a millennial. And I remember being a little kid and they were like two twins and one of them was like from California and the other one was from Boston.
Right.
And she like spoke like that. And then she's like, where are you from with that voice? And she's like, I'm from Boston. And she's like, oh, Boston. And I was like, why are they doing an English accent? But it's that mid-Atlantic. I've been well educated.
New England private schools
Right.
and all that. Mike in Nebraska. Mike.
Hey, Ronnie B, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hey, William F. Buckley, like back in the 70s, I was a little kid.
Unbelievable.
He had that, I guess it was the mid-Atlantic accent.
It was 100%. Yeah.
Every time I hear him talk, he was like, this guy must be the smartest guy in the world, and I have no idea what the fuck he's saying.
Here's the interesting thing, and this goes to show you how much the world has changed. William F. Buckley used to debate Gore Vidal on TV in the 70s. William F. Buckley was a conservative. Gore Vidal was a liberal. They both sounded smarter than anyone else who's ever lived. I put them both up. And Buckley is just put Gore Vidal and William F. Buckley. And these people would debate on TV in prime time. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and this was back when it felt like if you wanted to comment on politics, you had to be an intellectual,
right?
And they would get furious with each other. Did you find some, Chris?
I just sent it over to Jen.
Okay. Did you find it, Jen?
I think it's this one. I gotta log out this email.
Okay. But anyway, this goes to show you just how much when you watch TV now and people
Yeah.
are screaming at each other like they're on a sports show. You know what I mean?
You wish that you had voices like this who are intelligent and
But I can't tell you because I was a little kid at the time whether either one of them was full of bullshit.
Right.
But they were both.
But it didn't feel dumbed down.
No, it was just the exact opposite of dumbed down. All right, so just find you. You don't have this.
No,
this cartoons.
It didn't get mailed to her. I don't think.
You can't. You got to speak into the microphone, Chris.
I emailed it to her. She should have the link to the Gore Vidal Buckley debate.
Let's go over here to Dave. Dave, you're on the Bennington show.
Hey, Ronnie, remember Snagglepuss?
Exit.
He would
Stage left.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Leave even.
Yeah. And the whole funny thing about Snagglepuss is he was supposed to be a big stage actor.
All right.
You know what I mean? Over the top. All right, so we got a little bit of these two guys?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a list. This is Gore Vidal.
And Gore Vidal, and to ask them what observations they've made about the security that we have seen all week at this convention and the events tonight on the streets beyond this convention hall. Who is first? Mr. Vidal first.
I think there's very little that we can say after those pictures that would be in any way adequate. It's like living under a Soviet regime here. The guards, the soldiers, the agents provocateur on the parts of the police. You've seen the roughing up. The background of it is that they came here for a rally on the 25th of August at Convention Soldier Field, a Coalition for an Open Convention. They were denied the use of the field. It was a friendly, a nonviolent demonstration. As a rule, the press is on the side of the police, but this time the police have seriously injured some 21 newsmen, and the press has, of course, reacted. And on top of that, television is duly upset with Mayor Daley for other reasons. I'd just like to point out that picking up a newspaper at random on my way here, the Chicago Daily News, there's a columnist called Mike Royko, who says Thomas E. Ferran, the U.S. Attorney, says Chicago police have shown, quote, wonderful discipline in their handling of the Lincoln Park demonstrators. Ferran is either stupid or a liar, or maybe he's been wandering around in the wrong park. Chicago's police, for his information, have been beating innocent people with, to coin a phrase, reckless abandon. And he goes on to say that the biggest threat to law and order in the last week has been the Chicago Police Department. On an inside page here, we have one of the grisliest pictures I've seen
Look
in some
how
time.
long he's allowed to
I
talk
know,
without
it's
being
amazing.
interrupted. This is 1968.
And he has a paper in his hand. Like he's just like, if I could just take a moment. I've passed just a newspaper stand.
Because we haven't even heard from Buckley yet.
Riding through the park, he had not even been part of the hippie gathering.
I wonder if we can let Mr. Buckley comment now for a short while.
The distinctions to be made, Mr. Smith, are these. Number one, do we have enough evidence to indict a large number of individual Chicago policemen? It would seem from what Mr. Burns showed us that we do. However, the effort here, not only on your program tonight, but during the past 2 or 3 days in Chicago, has been to institutionalize this complaint so as to march forward and say that, in effect, we have got a police state going here. We've got a sort of a fascist situation. One young man approached me last night and
It's
said,
amazing.
Yeah, they're just great, right?
Bailey is a fascist.
And they would debate, and America at the time would be like, we got to watch. No, they're not debating like they're running for public office.
Right.
They were debating basically about the moral soul of the country and do you want to go left or right. But if you looked at those today, you know what I mean? At today, we would both be calling them 1%ers, or you know what I mean?
Sure.
The Hollywood elite. People just looked at them and go, which way are we going here?
Right.
And I remember, I think Buckley told he was going to give him a sock on the jaw or called him a sissy or you know, and the whole thing went to court, I think, by the time it was done. It was crazy. But this used to be where America was. Capote, Norman Mailer,
yeah.
Thomas Wolfe. These people would go on TV and talk for long periods of time.
Right.
And
Just
people,
because they were intellectuals
they
and
were
people,
writers,
yeah.
they were intellectuals. And we, the country, went, well, let's see what the intellectuals think of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether they were on the right or the left, you would want to have smart people, not the kind of people that we have today that are screaming and, you know, want to be a regular guy. You're being a populist so much, like, I'm like you. You know what I mean? These fucking people are like, I've come down from the mountain to explain what the gods are thinking right now.
Yeah.
And America at that time thought, well, this is interesting. This is good. Let's go to Ford. Ford, what's up?
Hey, I think some linguists, if I could say it, refer to the accents as R full and R less. So, you know, in Boston you hear park the car, that would be R less versus park the car being R full. And if you listen to, like Gail was doing that old time Southern accent, a lot of times that sounds very R less similar to Boston.
Somebody told me too that the current Southern accent is more like what the English people who landed here sounded like. And I find that fucking hard to believe, but I've heard that several times.
And I know that they did say that certainly about that old-timey kind of Southern Belle accent. It was kind of very English. And then this is a really weird thing. So a friend of mine is Scottish, and another friend of mine was talking about her family in I think it was Pittsburgh maybe, and she started to do a Pittsburgh accent, and he's like, weird, you just pronounced like 5 words that were very Scottish. And she's like, that's weird, there's a lot of of Scottish families there. And they were like, that's really strange that there are like different accents, like a Philly accent or a Pittsburgh accent or a Boston accent that has influence from the people that settled there,
right?
Who then that accent becomes diluted, but there are still different ways of elements. It's really strange to think.
Well, the same thing happens musically, that a lot of what we call country and western, like the early stuff or hillbilly music, is very much like Scottish and some kind of old Irish folk music. And the violin kind of went to become a fiddle.
Yeah,
you know?
bluegrass is definitely like that, where bluegrass comes from some of those, like, you know, that bluegrass folky kind of music is really derivative, I believe, of different, just English or Irish, all that, Scottish influence.
And they also say that's why, like, if you look at the way hill people were, right? The way they would hold a grudge. What's the Murphy? What was that original battle that went on for so long?
Hatfield and McCoy?
Hatfield and McCoy's, yeah. They were basically like Scottish people who, had been in America for a while, but they held on to that fucking Scottish hill thing.
Yeah.
Of like, I remember that fight.
Yeah.
And we will get on spec. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
And it just becomes hillbilly after a while. Here's Eric in Milwaukee. Eric.
Yeah, there's an awesome documentary on William F. Buckley and Gore Vidal debating about the whatever that clip was from, the '62 convention.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because it is like the high watermark of like public discourse, but it's also like the beginning of the end, because there's a point where Gore Vidal just keeps poking at him and Buckley loses it and like calls him a faggot.
Yeah.
In the middle of the broadcast, and it's ratings gold. So everybody's chasing. Ever since then, they've kind of been chasing that same thing, and it's become a formula that we've all become way too used to, I'm sure.
Yeah, obviously, in the fact that, we pulled left and rights. And a friend of mine wrote to me today to say that they feel like the parties are destroyed, that the parties are done. You're not going to have people say Democrats and Republicans, and they said to me, and I, for one, am glad, because I'm a liberal and I don't want to be in a party full of progressives. Right? And it's where we are of like, we're breaking into these fight. Like when you see the way there's a vicious fight going on in Alabama right now between two Republicans, right? Vicious. Steve Bannon on one side, Trump on the other, because we are breaking down our own parties into subsects. The Democrats have the same way.
Yeah.
A lot of people blame what they call the Bernie bros for not backing Hillary Clinton. It's being harder to run now as a white man in the Democratic Party, even if you've been totally liberal or totally progressive your whole life. You're like, I want to be the next president. Like, a black woman would be better for what we're trying to do. So we're breaking in, we're getting it smaller and smaller and smaller all the time. And I think a lot of what worked and was exciting about when you had Gore Vidal and William F. Buckley is that people could feel like, okay, I'm not in some screaming match myself with my brother-in-law.
Right.
This is an intellectual thing. It should be heard out properly. Let's go to Dave in Jersey.
Yeah, hi, Ronnie.
Hey.
I think maybe we're become somewhat dumber as a nation and somewhat stupider, and we can't keep up with intellectuals. Unfortunately, that's the case. What do you think about that? And I don't know, maybe we just want more plain-spoken kind of commentators on the left and the right.
Well,
I don't know.
When you dumb down the conversation, you're going to get dumber answers, right? If you ask dumb questions, you get dumb answers. So if it comes down to, and we're going through this with our president, he's a plain spoken guy. He's educated, but he speaks plainly. And now look at the fight that we're in, the verbiage fight with North Korea, right?
Yes.
It doesn't feel like, hey, here are two bright guys. They'll find an answer.
Right.
It sounds like two street thugs.
Exactly. And it is, at its core, in both of their speeches, name calling.
Yes.
And I mean, not here's what you do to your people.
Right.
Here's what here's the decisions you make that have an effect on my country. This is just like, I don't like you, and I don't like the name you called me, and now I'm going to call you a name, which is kind of surreal.
We've fallen into this thing where it was seen as a positive of the president, and I'm not talking about this president, but this goes back a ways. He's the kind of guy you could have a beer with. You want to vote for him because he's the kind of guy. You don't want the leader of the free world to be a regular guy. You don't want the leader of your corporation to be just like a regular guy. I wouldn't be like, hey, I'm investing in this company. The guy who runs it is like my pal Chris Stanley. He's a sloppy, shitty, fucked up mess.
Hey, what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to act like I've got somebody, I'm having brain surgery. It's great. The doctor's the kind of guy you want to have a beer with. I mean, me and him were throwing darts, and one of them hit me right in the head, and I was like, hey, you're going to be doing that for real tomorrow. I don't want that. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking have President Bafangul. And maybe we should aim higher in where we get our information.
Right.
The writer Michael Royko wrote in Chicago. Royko was a street writer. He was the old kind of columnists that don't exist anymore, guys that would be like street guys and they would write a column. I used to try to read as many of those guys from as many papers as I could.
And it was political stuff, or it was all
political stuff, but most of it was local politics. Royko would write from, kind of a dock worker's point of view. So that's when he's going, the local columnist Mike Royko wrote today in the Chicago Sun-Times. It's not pate because I only eat pate. It's the only food I have.
Oh, delicious.
Oh, no.
Very cosmopolitan.
I was listening to a little bit of Nikki in Florida.
Hi.
Yeah.
NPR. It's the most distinctive radio voice out there.
Well, now it's also in TV because so many of those NPR guys.
Yeah.
And they always our Molly is presenting herself that way when she talks.
It's yes, it is very
your
distinct.
NPR voice. You do pretty good.
So if you want to think of just like one of the girls, because the girls and the guys are a little bit different. I can't really do the guys as much, but both of them are pretty interesting. If we just take a look at the way they talk to each other, they have a certain cadence that is kind of unique. I think I might be interested in doing a show on NPR myself. It's like they use a little vocal fry. They're like it goes in waves, like da da da, and it's like one of those things that like when people were listening to what were those serial podcasts, it was like either you liked it and you found it calming, or somebody would be like, I cannot stand this woman's voice. It's like really frustrating the way she would be, the way she would draw out a sentence, and you're just like, oh my God. She's like, we took a look at the pings on the cell phone towers. I think it was pretty interesting, but it doesn't prove anything.
And
normally,
I love that. Yeah, it's just fucking fantastic.
And I think it's kind of an interesting thing because we hear it and now we're starting to associate it with somebody who is thoughtful or maybe intellectual, but it has vocal fry in it, which we previously thought to be as like dumb, like Valley Girl. Like, oh my God, that's crazy. That's so weird. I talk like a Kardashian. And now that's vocal fry being used in this way that's like, we did our research and we came up with something pretty interesting. You know what I mean? So
it sounds like someone's wearing glasses.
Exactly.
It sounds like someone has glasses on.
And the guy version of that is kind of similar. There's something kind of effeminate about
yes, they are
thing, and the guys have a bit of a vocal fry as well.
The guys try to land everything on a 3. Right? So they're like the old Catskill comics where the comics like, don't do a joke, do 3 jokes. Never give this punchline on the second. So it's always, but they'll try to be more interesting with it. So, they'll always be like, Astoria, Queens has always been known for its, Astoria, Queens is known for its Greek culture, fantastic street art, and a pig fucking radio producer? And they'll always bring this thing out of nowhere. And they'll just show Chris banging a fucking animal in the street. But they always land this every fucking time. And they've completely taken over CBS Sunday Morning.
Now this this is very specific, but that voice that's done is also done on New York One. Dan Eaton does an NPR voice, but he's on a local, and his segment is food. So he's like, I mix the tomato sauce in with the spices. You'll need to wait for that to simmer, and then and you're just like, oh, he's doing like an NPR voice.
I can't think of one of the CBS Sunday guys, but he always goes out and finds the heartwarming story. And you're like, my kid's probably better than this person that you're focusing on. You know what I mean? It's always like there'd be a kid who makes sure that he goes around. Oh, I know what it was. It was a kid who puts flags on every single grave, right? Of veterans in a thing, and he says, thank you for your service. And he won't stop. He's going all over the country doing this. And he's like 12. And he's acting like he's kind of a reflection of kids, rather than somebody with a horrible OCD that we need to help immediately. Because he's out in rain and there's no one there to hear him say thank you to for your service and planting these things. And these graves belong to other people too, kid. You don't have a right to be out there deciding how to. But that voice, the NPR accent is fantastic. One of the best of all time.
And that's a weird thing, that we just decide this is the job. And then it's just this is what someone sounds like who does the job. It's just kind of bizarre. You're like, oh, this is what an NPR voice is, so I'm gonna have to have the same cadence as everyone else on the show. They're like, but I hear it, and so...
Right, that's the way we do it, Or
why is it that Broadway singers all sing with Broadway voice? You don't need to be a good singer to sing with Broadway voice. You need to be able to do an impression
of a Broadway singer.
Of Broadway voice. Anyone could do it. You just have to learn how to do it, and it's not necessarily if you're good at carrying a tune.
Right, and if you went out and you sang like Smokey Robinson, they'd be like, no, thank you.
Doesn't sound like Broadway.
I know you're considered one of the greatest singers of your generation, but we're not going to have you here for this off-Broadway play.
That was beautiful, but can you do it like this? I'm the greatest individual I have ever met. It's just an accent. It's just like a character. It's not really a good...
What? And it doesn't matter how hip the play is. They sing the same way.
It's not really singing. It's an impersonation.
The Bennington family gets together every Thanksgiving. They have a chance for the family to see each other and enjoy a great meal and bring along hundreds and hundreds of friends. Tuesday, November 14th, the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square opens its doors at 8 o'clock for the Bennington family Thanksgiving. And how about this? A newlywed game played with nothing but radio hosts. The Bonfire will be there. Jim and Sam, Voss and Bonnie, and even Artie and Anthony. That's at the Bennington family Thanksgiving, November 14th, 8 o'clock, at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square. Go to BenningtonShow.com, fill out a form for a chance to win tickets.
That's
going to be
beautiful.
exciting. Yeah. Hey, let's break it back. Hey, look out. Hey, it's Friday already.
Weird, right?
I'm going to be at the Stand all weekend.
Nice. Both days? Friday, Saturday, both?
Days hosting.
Hosting?
Yeah.
People love the Stand.
Well, what's not to love? People love the Stands. And what are you going to do? It's a great place. Stand there. Watch it if you want to. I'll be standing.
Does everyone have the Stand?
No, they go to a place they like to call Sit. I'm at Stand.
TheStandNYC.com for tickets.
Yeah, that's right, Chris.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who's going to be there this weekend?
Mike Vecchione.
Love Mike Vecchione.
Marina Franklin.
Love her.
And Marina Franklin, yes, love her.
Sherrod Small.
Always kills. He's the killer.
Monroe Martin.
Love Monroe.
And Ron Bennington, and more.
Yay! The best.
I just hope Monroe and Sherrod work back to back, so then I can go up after them and go, I don't know about you people, but I feel like I've seen enough black people for one night.
Am I right, folks?
It always gets a nervous giggle. If you're anything like me. And then I'll do the same thing if I see women, we get two women.
Right.
But Bonnie will do a thing like, two women, I feel like I could faint. What, our vaginas going to get stuck together? Bonnie might be the funniest ever. Bonnie and Voss are coming to our Thanksgiving show. They've never done that before.
It's happening Tuesday, November 14th at 8 p.m. at the main stage at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square. So you can go to BenningtonShow.com, fill out the form for a chance at free tickets. Do not wait to do this because they are going.
Voss and Bonnie, Big J and Dan, Jim and Sam, and Artie and Anthony all competing against each other in a loser leaves town.
Whoa! Can't believe you got them all to agree to this.
Yeah, they don't realize whoever loses has to leave town. And this is the town, you know? This is the town they live in. They've got to call a realtor and get out of town. Who would you say lives the furthest away from each other? It's got to be between Sam and Jim and Artie and, and Anthony. Neither one of them live in the city.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be them. Where does Artie live?
He's just on the Jersey side.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives closer to this building than you do.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I know.
I hate hearing that from people from Jersey who they'll be like, oh my God, it took me almost a half hour to get into the office today. I'm like, oh my God, I live in this city and it takes me like an hour and a half. Why?
You know what's weird for me? We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city. That's got to be the nuttiest thing ever, right? We built this city. I don't know what's got in the veto today, but he came in during a commercial and demanded that I decided whether I wanted to have a certain unmasked in this studio or outside.
Couldn't have.
And I go, can I wait? And he goes, I need to know now. I go, then guess what, Vito? We're not doing it. Call them back.
Good.
And say, you have pressed Ron to a place that he can't even stand it anymore.
It's a break for a reason. It's break time, Vito.
Stop pushing the mic away from him and yelling it's break time. And then
What a dork.
Just be a regular person.
This is live radio, you douche.
I'm the most regular person here.
You're not.
Why would you say something silly?
The fact that anyone has to say that, I'm a human being, I'm not an animal, is what made him an animal. That he had to make that statement. That was Jake LaMotta, of course, I was talking about from Raging Bull. Jake LaMotta passed away this week.
Yeah.
And I had Jake on this show probably a year or two before you started. And, like, he did lines twice. Like, you know what I mean?
Really?
Like, he would do a line and a couple times later, and that's when I had to drop it in. Or, you know what I mean? Just an old punch drunk guy. It was great. So, Vito, come on over here. Come on over here and settle down. Look, he's with Paul all the time now. Is he fighting with someone? You don't have to run, Vito. What is going on here? What's happening?
In a weird mood today.
No, I was going to the office to do something really quickly.
What are you doing?
I'm taking care of a few things, and then Laura gave me a high five, and I just high fived him back because we're friends.
But during when I'm saying come in here,
I didn't hear you saying.
I mean, it's great that me and you aren't friends, but you work here. You know,
there's a difference.
I don't think that you're high five with your friend. If someone said, "Hey, how come you didn't take your math test?" I was high fiving with a friend of mine. Just because I want a math education doesn't mean I shouldn't have friendships. What are you and Paul up to?
He was just walking that way, and I was walking.
Are you in an alliance with Paul?
Me and Paul are in a.
Let me tell you something. If this was the game, you'd be getting backdoored tonight.
Oh yeah.
Now, why are you so hyped up?
I'm not hyped up. I'm just taking care of some things. I'm trying to be on top of everything.
What do you mean? You're taking care of business?
TCB?
I'm TCB right now.
Look, here's the whole thing about fucking taking care of business. Never let them see you sweat. Okay?
Okay.
That's another little commercial. No, it's as easy as fish and you can be a musician if you can make this sound hard and mellow.
Just, fishing's hard for some people.
That is true. I didn't even think of that. Fly fishing is very difficult. Very difficult.
I mean, I never catch anything.
Well, your problem is you use harpoon in a river. He's trying to get back in. All right, take it down, Chris. Anyway, I'm worried about you, Vito.
There's nothing to be worried about.
I mean,
I'm
you
gonna have
seem
you
so
sent to
tense
rehab.
today. Remember you and I got all
you
tense?
struck at Gail. You struck out at Gail this morning.
Oh my Yeah, God. It was very
And then
sassy.
Jen wanted to get a picture taken with her favorite lookalike girl, and you were like acting like it was a problem.
Yes, and then I had to be like, is there a problem here, Vito?
I
did one of those.
Jen get the.
You said take the picture and come right back.
I did say that, but before we even did that, I helped Jen. I had her talk to some people from the hip hop side that I'm friends with.
But why would you force her to sit there?
Vito, the cooch was here. You know that.
Because I had to take care of some things. So
And why wasn't Chris sitting here? I
Why
mean, why
can't you
would the
tell us
one
what the
person
things
who
are?
Because I don't want to say anything.
But why wouldn't Chris being here? Why is he over there?
Yeah,
all day?
that was the thing that really confused me. Is there's only one person who needed to leave the studio because they wanted to take a
Could you-
special picture. And you guys are like, sit in a seat you normally don't sit in. That is, I demanded today.
Well, I've already said I was doing things. I don't know what Chris's reasoning is.
Chris, what was your reasoning
I want
for
to mix,
being over there?
want to mix it up a little bit, you know? I want to change
that
things
only
up.
works if it makes
everything
sense.
up.
Yeah, it only works when that makes sense. It's not just so you could go hang out in the fart box, as you call it.
Oh, he's gassy. That's why you wanted to be
Very gassy today, yes.
so he can fart at will.
I ate a couple of hot dogs. 2 in the morning.
You ate a couple hot dogs this morning?
2 in the morning, I boiled up some hot dogs
What? At what hour?
at 2 a.m. because I was up. I couldn't sleep, so I figured, I'll have some hot dogs, and that did not
That'll
sit
make
well.
you sleep.
Do you have hot dog rolls?
Yeah, I had hot dog buns. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So you went out and got some for yourself.
Yeah, I had a package of hot dogs in the fridge. Like, you know what? I've been staring at these hot dogs. I'm gonna eat something right now.
I don't know why it's gross here. I mean, it shouldn't be gross. It's just somebody wanted to make themselves a late night snack. But for some reason, thinking of them boiling up hot dogs at 2 a.m. is really
What were you
grossing
doing?
me out.
Watching West Coast baseball? Just sitting there eating your hot dogs. Buy me something. Get some.
The Dodgers game is great.
Chris Stanley's having a good day with his hot diggities. He looks over. This phone's going off. Oh, but this was my hot dog time. Puts a sign out front. Closed for a hot dog. Hot diggity, dog diggity. Now, what are you up to, Vito? What are you up to now?
I'm not up to anything crazy.
You're fucking creeping around here like we don't know what you're doing.
He's like shuffling papers. He's on the phone. I see him in there making calls.
Yeah.
He's got something going on.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, but why are you doing it so suspiciously?
Yeah.
Yeah, why won't you tell anybody what you're up to? Then you come in demanding whether I take something that I don't even have the date on, whether I take it in a club or here.
It's tonight, Ron. I think
Answers
it's
now.
tonight.
5, 4, 3.
He did that to me.
I'm leaving. At
He
what?
said,
I'm leaving.
This will fucking be gone as quick as I brought it in. I go, I don't make fucking decisions that fast.
Jesus, Vito, what are you doing, man?
I got to calm down the aggressiveness, I guess. I'm just trying to be on top of things.
You told me I lost my shot at a condo with a beautiful view. Because I'm too pussy to get off the phone. He goes, why don't you? He screamed at me. Why don't you stand when you piss? And you know I do.
Wow.
All right, so Vito, what's the? How far away is the date of that thing that you asked me about? You don't have to give the exact date.
Would be mid-October.
Okay. You know how much stuff I got going on in October,
I know,
now, right? But you keep adding.
I keep adding. I'm just trying to keep everybody busy.
By everybody, you mean me.
Just trying to keep you busy.
He's working into the ground, Ron.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for noticing. Thanks for noticing
noticed.
something my own daughter won't.
I know. These two, Ron, I'm the one who cares.
Cardisi's lookalike won't notice either.
Old Coochie over there in the corner.
Did you ever end up seeing the
Don't
picture?
call her that.
It is
That's
bad.
an HR situation.
Yeah, it is an
Don't
HR
call her old
situation.
coochie.
Right.
I did not see the picture.
I put the picture up here like you did. I always like it when you put it up here.
There's her and
Look at that.
Scaramucci.
Two cuties.
Wow, you guys look alike.
And then you missed that they started kissing.
No,
For 7
I wouldn't care about that
It was
because
a
Jen's
long,
my coworker.
long sesh.
But you wouldn't want to see Chris making out?
I saw Chris get a little kiss action last night.
Whoa!
French? French style?
No, it wasn't
Do you,
French.
Open
do you
mouth?
French her?
Cup in a boob?
Jesus Christ. No, there wasn't any groping in the middle of the street.
Middle of the street.
Middle of the street.
Middle of the street. I am good people on the street.
Let's see what Jen's friends wrote in comments, too. You two are very beautiful. I'll say it. Jen is a better looking twin. Whoa! Boner City.
Oh, geez.
Who's Razorback Candy?
I mean, these are all.
Parent trap moment. Have these beautiful women been soiled by Chris, the Trump cuck?
Soiled?
Which one is Jen? That's nice stuff.
Oh.
Nice
to me.
Jen is greater
Nice
than,
to
not
know.
even close. I don't like Razorback Candy, though. Oh, Razorback Randy. Whoa, Boner City. That's no way to die.
I think
lady.
It's positive, though. Boner City is a positive place.
Okay, then your girlfriend is Boner City.
Oh, come
You
on.
forget about that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to take her to the bone zone.
What?
Chris?
What's this bone zone you speak of?
Everyone wants to take me to the Bone Zone, man. Should I go?
No!
Why were there people rambling last night, man, with that Adlon? I don't understand these gringos.
Not calling us gringos.
Costa Rica. Why don't you lick her? Chris was disappointed. He thought he was going to roller Costa Rica. He thought everything was going to be fun. I said, no, man, it's laid back. Do you smoke herb, Chris?
No.
She loved that weed?
She loved the reefer, that ganja.
She did that coke?
Smoke them trees.
No.
Where's the Yale, man?
No.
I'll fucking cut your throat, Chris.
Over what?
Well, I'm glad you're having fun, Chris. That's the important thing.
Yeah, I'm having a good time, yeah.
Vito, I'm glad that you fucking took yourself on like you're suddenly Charlie Sheen in Wall Street, where you're running around making deal after deal.
Breaking into fucking
your old
offices.
friends who wanted to take you for nicks and chicks don't even understand you anymore.
He's on a motorcycle running around town.
We got nicks and chicks. Fuck you, asshole. You just made my life 100% tough. But you see what we're saying, Vito?
You got to calm it down. I got to be here for the show. I can't be at another.
Where are you? That's the thing. You won't even tell us where you are.
I've been over here and I've been over in the office.
I'm over here now.
Just been wheeling and dealing.
Kiss stealing?
Limousine ride.
All right. I heard he was making the rounds bragging about how much he used to drink, and that's why he had the heart problems.
Yeah, he said he'll never drink again.
I'll never drink again. Speaking of which, that cockfuck Jerry Lewis, when he dropped dead, they had his will. He named 5 different of his children by name that he didn't want any money left to.
Oh my God.
Isn't one like homeless in Philly, I believe? He said it's his daughter, but no, he doesn't want him to have anything.
What?
I don't know.
He has a homeless.
There was I did a perfect fucking job explaining myself.
You're not
Chris,
appreciated.
attempting to put a little chocolate syrup on the mashed potatoes. Start yelling out, "Homeless Philly," and then he asked me, "Isn't she?"
I thought maybe
I had my own thing. I had fucking my own things I was following up with. I had read books about this before. Instead, I'm now answering homeless Philly. I don't know if she's at Manioc or Passyunk, Chris. I don't know where the fuck she's selling flowers at. I don't know why they say we're second.
Is that what it is? Right? She's in Philly or what? Like, that's what I heard. What do you think about it? What?
No one know what I'm talking about?
That fucking impression is so good. She's not in Philly, eh? Just what do you care, Chris? What do you fucking care?
I read a human interest story about his.
I read a
human interest story on the Daily Mail about his.
Then why didn't you bring it up in the 3 hours of the show?
Why do you wait? Didn't come up.
It doesn't come up because it's none of your fucking business. Everybody brings up their own shit. You come running in the middle of things, asking questions, and throwing out your same small facts because you happen to get Parade magazine stuck in your newspaper. Only women bleed, Chris. That's the way you ended the fucking show yesterday. So we're waiting until next week with that, right?
Yes, next Friday, 2 p.m. we'll be airing the Pamela Adlon Unmasked.
All right. I put Vito. I pulled Chris off the fucking Unmasked just to do the producing part, right? And I said, Vito, you're on the Unmasked now. He's coming at me like he's on a commission for each of these Unmasked. And it goes like this: we could do one, but it's got to be 45 minutes from now. I go, would you calm the fuck down, son? He goes, I can get Pat from Menaki, but you got to fucking make up your mind right now.
What? 5, 4.
Pat, yes, I'll take Pat. I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose Pat. Do you want to be at Madison Square Garden? You got one day to sell this out. I'm selling a fucking Thanksgiving show. I'm glad that you outwork Chris. And I'm glad that you're not a person who tries to disrupt me every time I'm talking.
I'm not making any commission off of this. I'm just really into this new job I got. Just going around making Unmasked deals.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
I'm getting a little power hungry.
You're making deals.
Look, Ron, you only got 17,000.
Wait, what? We have to pay for this? Look, that's a deal I made.
Daddy, they good.
I love Daddy.
And this is what she does right before she leaves.
I know.
She just goes like this. She squeezes my face and then gets in the car.
Yeah, she did.
It was the sweetest moment of my life.
Oh,
Well, Chris is giving me the big 4. 4 minutes.
Got 4 minutes left, Ron.
He loves time.
I know he
This guy
does.
loves time.
I don't.
I don't. I
don't
love time.
Stop this rumor about me, Gail. All right, I'll be out at the Stand all this weekend. Gail, anything you'd like to plug?
Well, there is the newest Gail Meets Girls. It's at the iBang and on iTunes and Google Play. It is Christy Cielo and Molly Austin. It's a very funny episode.
Vito, anything you'd like to plug?
Big Brothers will be up soon.
Yeah, I got to tell you about that.
Oh no! Please, not more of this.
Give it to him, Ron.
You piece of shit. This boy has a love in his life. Why do you crush it out of him? It's so cruel.
I work so hard on the show.
Here's the thing.
He does. He works so hard.
Because it was a special show and you amped it up faster, they said, you'll have to pay some more money because you're putting so many shows on iTunes.
Oh, really?
And I go, well, why can't they just wait?
Yeah.
So it was a budget. For budgetary reasons, you're going to go out on Monday or whatever it is. Whenever the click-off date is for free. Stanley, anything you'd like to plug?
Well, the Bennington Family Thanksgiving. That's happening Tuesday, November 14th, 8 p.m. at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square. You go to BenningtonShow.com to fill out the form for a chance at free tickets.
No, we're not paying for it. We're going to run it on the other day. Anything that you want to plug, Jen? I know you got a nice picture today you're excited about.
Plug the Instagram.
The Bennington Instagram. My picture's on there. The Pamela Adlon on the Instagram story from yesterday, too.
Oh.
Such
that
a
was
cute picture.
Such a cute picture.
Did you see that picture she put on the story? It's so cute.
No, let me say.
Hold on. I haven't.
Yeah, you might have to see it on your phone.
Yeah,
What is
Instagram.
it?
It's just a really sweet picture of Pamela
her,
just
yeah.
at like the end of the Unmasked, and it's really, really cute.
Let me see her.
It's on the Instagram story.
That's at Bennington SXM on Instagram. Bennington SXM.
I love her so much.
Isn't that such a cute picture?
Yeah, I didn't know that we even shook hands at the end.
Yeah. She was like right in front of me.
Yeah.
So I
And then you
couldn't
just took
take
that
pictures.
yourself?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. That's it for us, Chris. So I don't have anything else to plug.
I do not believe so, no.
I will just say this. We'll see you again in 1974. Good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!